Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 73 of the NFL edition. I am one of your hosts, Alex Loosemore. Alec and Ben will be joining me shortly. Johnny's taking a little bit of time off. Marty will be back hopefully next week, so we'll slowly start to get the whole crew back together again. We've got the Eagles-Texans game tonight, which is actually way closer than people expected. Most people expected it to be over by this point. It is currently 21-14 Philadelphia with 3:24 left in the third. Second and one for Houston. We've got our weekly picks for week 9. As you can see behind me, I already have Johnny's and Marty's written down. Me, Ben, and Alec will give ours in a second. We'll talk about some of the trade that happened at the trade deadline. Obviously, there was a big one for my Lions. Nothing happened for the Bucs. We can talk about what we think they should have done, both teams, and where to go from here. And then that'll go right into our what we learned from week 8 segment. So if you like what we're doing, please like, share, follow, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And most of all, just like Jason did here, comment. We feed off your guys' comments. We love to discuss stuff with you guys, hopefully more football related. All right. With that being said, I'm going to bring in the co-hosts here. How are we doing, guys?
Doing good, Alex. How are you?
Good. Jason's off to a good start tonight.
As always.
All right. So what have you guys thought of this Thursday night game so far?
I mean, it's closer than I thought, but you know what? I mean, Houston, look, their defense has always been pretty good all year. They read a stat that said Houston's led 7 of the 8 games this year going into the halftime. So it's not really surprising, but at the same time, I mean, can they do it in the second half? Can they maintain it? They're not doing it right now because they're down by 7. So,
yeah. Although they are at the 12-yard line here in Philadelphia, so
okay, well,
they might score here. And that's the one thing I've been most surprised with is they've been able to move the ball well, whether it's through the air or on the ground. It's been quite surprising for me how well Davis Mills has played tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, the defense. The one thing you can say is they keep your team in games, and that's not a bad thing. So it's just they got to get over that hump. Finally maintain a lead, so that way they can win a game or two. Right now they got 1 win.
Yeah,
so they're due for one eventually. Playing a tie, yeah. So
I saw something that Mills at home so far in his career is like 1-8-1 or 2-8-1, something like that. Wow. Like the team itself has played well at home. They're just not well enough to win.
Yeah,
which is unfortunate, but you can only do so much.
That's what separates good teams from bad teams is finishing games.
Yeah.
So,
Jim, thank you for tuning in. I noticed this earlier too when I was listening with volume. It sounded like there were more Eagles fans than Texans fans. It was quite surprising, actually.
And real quick, how ironic is it? The sports gods have Philadelphia and Houston. Same night as Phillies and Astros.
Yeah,
amazing.
Oh. One isn't the baseball game in Philly?
Yeah.
So there's one going on in each city. Yeah,
right.
And what coincidence? Astros are winning against the Phillies, and then the
Eagles are beating the Texans. Yeah.
Jeez. Amazing.
All right, Alec, any thoughts on the game tonight? I know you had one pretty big thought before the game or before the show here.
Eagles can ligma. They can just ligma. That's all I gotta say on that one. I wish I would have known that stat where Eagles or Texans are at least decent in the first half. I wish I would have known that. Wish I would have known
that. Yeah, big parlay that was he stumbled just because they tied at the half. Jason, no. He said this in case you guys want to see. I don't know if you guys could see that. Jim says, how good is the Eagles defense? If really good, they could make the Super Bowl. If not, they will fold in the playoffs. Anyone want to take a stab at that?
It's pretty good. I think it could be better in the secondary. Davis Mills. Again, he's not a great quarterback, but the way he's been getting that ball out tonight, the secondaries, other than Slay, ironically the former Lion,
Yeah.
their secondaries, it's okay, but it's not championship level. If they had a better secondary than what they have now, yeah, I think they could definitely be a Super Bowl contender and probably win it all.
Yeah. I think the defense is good enough as of now with the way the NFC looks to make the Super Bowl. They are my Super Bowl pick out of the NFC. And I had them in the NFC Championship going into the season, but I had them losing in the NFC Championship game to a team that doesn't look very good right now. So I had the Rams. I had a rematch of the first game to be the last game of this year. But in terms of that Eagles defense, I mean, Detroit put up 35. They basically blanked the Vikings, only gave up 7. They only gave up 8 to the Commanders, but then 21 to the Jaguars, 17 to the Cardinals, 17 to the Cowboys, kind of brought it back down to reality a bit. 13 to the Steelers, and then 17 here to the Texans. So outside of that game with the Lions, the defense has been pretty solid. Anytime you can keep a team under 20 points, you should expect to win the game. So, hello, Hammy. Thank you for tuning in.
Double trouble.
They're back at it again. All right. Should we start getting into our picks here?
Sure.
All right. I'm assuming everyone had the Eagles.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, as you can see, I already wrote Johnny's and Marty's. They both had the Eagles as well. So I guess before I get too far into it, I'll go over the records. I took a couple chances last week, and they did not pay off. So I am a little bit – all that ground I made up, I'm back in that hole again. So I am 64 and 59. Marty is third. I'm just saying the people that have been doing it the whole season, and then Alec, I'll throw yours in here in a second. So Marty is 72 and 51. Ben is 74 and 49, and Johnny's one game ahead of him at 75 and 48. So we counted. What we did was, because none of us picked that tie week 1, we put it all as a win, if I'm not mistaken. Because Ben, on your post, you said you were 73, 49, and 1, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we're not counting ties, right? Yeah, so
we counted it all as a win, just to make our record look a little bit better. So Ben is 1 game behind Johnny for first place.
Coming for you, Johnny.
Marty is 3 games behind Johnny, and I am 11 games behind Johnny. I got some ground to make up again. And Alec started a little bit later than us. He is currently 29 and 14.
Hey,
not bad.
Yeah, pretty good. 2-1 with an extra game. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right.
nothing like starting off late.
Yeah.
Late bloomer.
Colts at the Patriots. I picked the Patriots.
I got Patriots.
Everyone picked the Patriots? All right. There's a couple games I took a chance on again this week, so we'll see if they pay off. Packers at the Lions. This is what I took a shot on. I'm taking the Lions at home.
I took the Lions.
Oh, Al, it's like that ex-girlfriend, you hoping that she gets back with you, but never does. I mean, come on, baby.
If Swift plays, I do actually like this matchup because the Packers' run defense has been very bad this year. So I'll take the running game at home. If Swift doesn't play, it worries me a little bit but a little bit more. It still worries me right now. But
I mean, I'd be more worried about your defense. I mean, you just fired your defensive backs coach. So
yeah,
I'd
but
be worried more about
our
that.
defensive backs suck, but Rodgers has nobody to throw to. So that was where I was kind of like, I have no idea what's going to happen there, honestly.
What's TJ Hawkinson doing this weekend?
He is playing in Washington, unfortunately.
And that's one of your best weapons, too.
But we didn't use him that much. That's the thing. Especially now that...
I don't know why either. Like,
well, and that's why I've started to accept the trade, is because I look back and we don't really use him that much.
Okay,
so you get a second and third round pick for a guy we didn't use.
Hold on a sec. Things that Alex Lyons say after trade. Didn't use him that much, yeah. How many times did I heard that one?
I mean, if you look at it this year, realistically, outside of the Seattle game, we haven't used him that much. So, other than like a couple third down conversions here and there. But
I mean, I get it, but it's like he's one of your few good players.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's cool that you got draft capital, but at the same time, wouldn't you want to build around a guy like that rather than trade him away?
Now here's the other thing, because again, I've tried to play like both sides of the argument here to see every aspect of it. We had to pay him $9.5 fully guaranteed next year with that 5th-year option, and then you have to re-sign him. Sounds like he wanted to reset the tight end market. Wanted more than Kelsey, more than Kittle, more than Waller, like more than all these guys. I don't want to pay him that much if we don't use him like those guys get used.
I could see that, but I mean, again, it's you got a good player, man. It's just
it's hard to give up that talented player. Yeah, it really is.
Because I mean, in certain situations, I can go for this kind of trade, but man, you keep rebuilding year after year. When's it going to finally start to be like, okay, let's build around a TJ Hawkins? We're getting there, but and then you take a step back with this kind of trade. Now, if it was a situation where you're doing pretty good, then okay, I could see it a little differently, but you're not progressing. And that's the thing,
Now, see, here's where I could argue against exactly what you said, because the offense is doing very good. Right? So if you can get more assets to build the defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it helps the overall team. Where
okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, if you look at specifically like the Dallas game and these last couple of games that we've played, the backup tight ends were actually getting used more as receiving targets than Hawkinson was. I don't know why. Maybe it was to see what they had in case they traded Hawkinson. But Brock Wright played very well. He just about had that touchdown where they called him out at the 1. The rookie we drafted this year, James Mitchell's just getting back into the fold after that ACL tear he had in college. So I think this is one where you go the cheaper players that are still performing well enough, and then use all that to try and retool the defense. Whether it's, because in my mind, what I would do is, I think we're going to cut Goff in the offseason. That saves us about $20-25 million. I think we cut Michael Brockers, which saves us about $10 million. Romeo Okwara is an iffy one. That's about $7.5 million. But I think come free agency time, we're going to have about $70 million to play with. So I think then you go after whether they draft a quarterback, which I don't want them to do because I want them to load up that defense. I would try and get one of those cheaper starters, whether it's a Garoppolo or, I mean, I don't want him, but you guys called for him the entire time this offseason, Baker Mayfield. My main guy is Garoppolo. I want Garoppolo, and then use all those picks to build up that defense.
Well, I think Garoppolo is kind of the best of the worst. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's probably who I would go after. But Alex, if it's for me, it's more about a mindset. if you keep going cheap and cheap and cheap, and a player starts to play well when you traded your best player, then a couple years later, their contract's going to come up, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, we don't want to pay him this much, so let's go with cheaper ops. It's a mindset. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And the Lions, that's the problem with this franchise. It's that certain mindset that it just keeps, going this way instead of going this way.
Now, I think instead of paying, we'll throw the number out there, I believe, to reset the tight end market, you'd have to go about $15 million a year. So, to me, instead of paying Hawkinson $15 million a year, and then you still have to extend Penei Sewell in the next couple of years, Amon-Ra St. Brown, possibly DeAndre Swift if we keep him, which I think we should. We've had a lot of young picks that are starting to produce, and then you're going to have to try and keep all these guys. To me, I think you keep the running backs, the receivers, the offensive line. That tight end spot, you can suffer a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, in a league now where the tight end's very prominent for more than just catching, it's blocking as well. Which,
yeah,
I'll admit, TJ Hawkins is not a good pass blocker. That's probably his only weakness.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to go with what the NFL's going with today. And if you got a good tight end, I'd keep him. Pay him.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm not just talking about Hawkinson, Alex. I'm talking about
this is general, yeah.
Just in general, the mindset that this team's had,
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna have to, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna have to spend money. That's just the way it is. If you want to keep a good player and build around it, you're gonna have to spend some money. That's just the way it is. And that's my whole point on this. It's the mindset that the team has had. And dude, for these Lions fans, they've suffered enough, man.
It's frustrating.
Come on. Enough with the rebuild crap. Start progressing, Otherwise, it's just going to be the same thing every year. Wait till next year. Wait till next year. I believe it. I'm a Bucs fan. Before we got rid, that's what I was seeing.
Constant 7-9, 6-10. Yeah.
It's like, come on, man. You gotta have a mindset where you want to go for it. You're gonna have to take risk. So.
Yeah. And I think realistically, what they should have done is when they said last year they were going into the full rebuild, that's where if you were going to get rid of some of these guys, you do it then. You completely tear it down, and then you go from there. Not tear it down 3 quarters last year and then do the last quarter of it this year and then go, right? So.
But weren't you guys not even going to resign him for TJ Hawkinson?
No, we were close to an extension, but the disagreement was we didn't want to pay him the money that he wanted. We were probably closer to that $9 million-ish he was making on the 5th-year option next year, and he wants that 15 plus that's going to reset the market. So it sounded like they were fairly close, and then I think that's why they started playing those younger tight ends, was to see what they had in them and see if it was okay to take that risk. And in their mind, I guess it was. But yeah, I'm still a little confused by it.
You said, I'm pretty sure that whiteboard's covering the hole that you punched in your wall when that trade happened.
No, I wasn't even here when the trade happened, so
probably punched
right in a hole in my parents' wall.
Well, you're not in jail, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. No, I definitely experienced the whole trying to see both sides of it. I was up and down emotion-wise with the trade the other day, but the hardest part for me is Minnesota. Why Minnesota?
I know, right?
I get they probably offered the most because right now, of the teams that are contending, other than say you guys, they're the most desperate for a tight end. With Irv Smith Jr. going down for, it sounds like 8 to 10 weeks. Well, here's your guy. You can get Hawkinson for at least this year and next year. And then you can let Irv Smith Jr. walk in free agency, get the compensatory pick for him, and see what you get there. But
you guys hear the news on Rashad Bateman?
Yes, he is having foot surgery. His season is over. I saw that because I have him in my one fantasy league.
Along with Slant Boy.
Yeah, Slant Boy is having toe surgery. He's not expected back for the rest of the season.
Did you see the meme where Robinson got shot in the leg, only missed 4 games? Michael Thomas out for the year.
Oh man, like I don't get it. Like,
I mean, what is he, Kawhi Leonard? Or
load management.
it's getting more Ben Simmons at this point. Like, I mean, at least Ben Simmons is back playing now, but like, jeez,
it's crazy.
And
Michael Thomas is a good receiver. It's just, dude, when can he stay healthy? Like,
look at the last season he played an entire season. Like,
when
that was 2019.
That's so weird. It's roughing the
and it was the Offensive Player of the Year award with like 150 receptions, and like he was insane that year.
Yeah, he was,
and he just hasn't been able to do anything since. I don't get it.
I'm not sure if this is random, but these roughing the passer calls are getting weirder and weirder. He literally just bumped into him and he fell. And they said roughing the passer.
Oh yeah, it's the Tua thing. That's why they're calling it more tightly now.
It's now, like, see, that one's actually more debatable because he throws it and then he shoves him. So it's to me, I think it's too soon after the throw to flag him for it, but it is clearly after the throw and you shove him. Like,
but and also because, like I said, the Tua incident.
Yeah.
You know, the officials are gonna be. They were told by the league, you see anything close to what resembles a quarterback getting hit harder than it should be, throw the flag.
Yeah.
Well, I hope Sean Spencer's in here tonight because Bezos is buying the commies. Hopefully.
Well, see, here's my thought on it: is
Amazon Stadium.
This is Dan Snyder toying with everybody. I think he's going to sell just enough to where he's still the majority owner, so he can give the middle finger to the league and the rest of the owners. I think he's going to sell till he's got like 55% still, and he can just be like, "F all of you, like it's still mine."
Do you know they already showed the projected sell value of it? I think it was like 3
Isn't it like
billion?
6?
I think it was like 3 billion, 4 billion. I'm not sure exactly.
I think it's going to be more just because every time a team sells, the price goes up. The Broncos sold for like 4. So I think this is going to be closer to like 5.
Yeah, I could. Well, Bezos, he could buy half the NFL with teams.
Yeah,
even after the divorce. So he's like,
oh
man, you should buy the Lions.
Well, funny enough, when the ownership was transferred from the mother to the daughter,
yeah,
he tried to sneak his way in there and buy the team. He was pushing. He was talking about buying the Lions.
You had your chance.
Now, see, the daughter so far, like, she's only been there. This is like almost 2 full years. No. She got there right before Patricia and them were fired. Mm-hmm. So, essentially, what? This is the second full year for Campbell. So, 2 years in November here, yeah. So
I don't think he's gonna last. I mean, especially if they're like 3 wins or less. I mean,
3 wins or less, he's gone. Yeah, I agree.
And I think it's going to look like that, unfortunately, because you traded away Hawkinson. Your defense just has not done anything. I mean, you had to fire a coach. You know, and that's the problem is the coaching. You know, I had a feeling this was going to happen. You know, like.
It was going to go one of 2 ways, right? Like, it was either going to work really well or it was going to fall flat on its face.
And so far,
right now it's trending towards, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the only reason I don't necessarily see it being, I still see us getting around 5 or 6 wins because we still have the Bears twice. We still have Carolina. We still have the Jets who have fallen off without Breece Hall. We still got a lot of, like, I still see us splitting with the Packers just because of how bad they've looked. Like, I think there's still enough where it's going to be one of these things where a coach probably should be gone, but they're going to do just enough to keep their job.
And that's the thing, too, that kind of worries me because it's one of those where I think you'd rather get rid of someone a year early than a year too late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was luckily with Bruce Arians coming in. I thought we kept Cutter too long.
Yeah, I agree.
There, but sometimes you just got to swim and cut bait. And we'll see how we do the rest of the year. Let's see what they can do, because you kind of do have some winnable games. Look at like Carolina.
Yeah.
I think we got Jacksonville, right?
Yeah, we got Jacksonville at home, I believe.
Okay, well, I mean, you can get 2 wins right there, and then
the Bears twice, Packers twice.
You could split with the Bears. Even a split with the Bears would, that's 4 wins. And then the Jets, like you said, that could be 5. So apparently, yeah, I mean, it's doable.
Yeah, but it's still bleak. It's
if their defense doesn't start improving, yeah, it's going to be very bleak.
Now, see, here's the thing: is the front 7 since the bye week has looked much better. The defensive line and the linebackers to me have looked much better. The secondary, and I mean, I expected them to give up as many yards as they did to Tua. I expected almost 400 yards because rarely does Tyreek Hill go for under 100 yards, and Jalen Waddle's getting to that point too. So, to me, I expected over 350, almost 400 yards, and I think he hit like 370. Tua did, so I wasn't too shocked by it. But the secondary needs to pick it up. They absolutely do. And Deshaun Elliott, the safety's coming back this week, which should help the safeties a little bit. I think it should be him and Kirby Joseph, the 3rd-round rookie, who's looked pretty good in coverage so far. And then Okuda's still playing very solid. I'm over the moon with how Okuda's been. He just needs help. He can't do it himself.
Absolutely. But see, another thing, I know I keep harping on the negatives, but the inconsistency on both sides of the ball. Like one week your defense plays really good, but your offense doesn't.
Offense. Yeah.
Then the other week it's the offense playing great and your defense doesn't. That's on the head coach. That's on the head coach. He's got to tighten those screws up, because it's like either this or that. It's always something with this team, and that's where you don't see the progression.
Yeah. See, and even if you look at that Dolphins game, the defense played well in the first half, or well enough to keep them in the game, and then it was just both sides of the ball just didn't do enough come in the second half.
Yeah,
the offense wasn't scoring and defense wasn't stopping them. So you obviously can't expect to win when that's happening.
Yep.
Yeah. Just gonna get through some of these comments here. Jim said Patriots, but barely. Yeah, I expect that to be a close game.
I think it's gonna be an ugly game.
They're still reviewing this.
What's that?
They're still reviewing this catch. It's incomplete. I don't know why they're taking forever for that shit.
Hey, Chris, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for tuning in, Chris. Jim said Alex Kingoff put up some good fantasy points. Typically, he's been decent. I guess it depends on how many points you're looking for him to get. I expect this week for him not to, because I think they're going to run the ball a lot. I don't expect too much out of the passing game this week, just because you do have Jair Alexander and Eric Stokes. You have a good secondary there, but the run defense, as I said before, has struggled. So I expect Ben Johnson to be calling a heavy dose of the run, whether it's Swift and Jamal Williams or just Jamal Williams and Reynolds. Expect the running backs to do well this weekend. Marty, thank you for tuning in. Says, what's up, guys?
I know that guy.
He says, I think your options may be Matt Ryan or Derek Carr. I'd be okay with Carr, even with how he's looked this year. I do still think with – not Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan's going to retire. He should.
Yeah.
With Derek Carr with a good offensive line and good weapons, I think he'd be solid. I mean, we saw it a few years ago.
That hasn't been – well, that's part of the problem here, but one of the main problems has been our defense.
Yep.
Max Crosby got paid, and he's acting like he just got paid. That's it.
Yep.
Chandler Jones, I don't know where he's been, but, it's just – how do you not get to midfield to the fourth quarter of a game?
And 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. especially when you have those kind of weapons offensively.
They got to be the most disappointing team of the year in the NFL, bar none. The Raiders.
Yeah,
It should be
I would say so. Them right along with the Broncos. I think those are the two most disappointing teams.
Yeah.
I would absolutely say so. Ben, you're bumming Alex out. No, the trade did that on Tuesday.
Yeah. Sorry, Jim.
Jason's desperate for a tight end.
I bet.
Corey, thank you for tuning in. Says, what's up? Jim says, every time Brady is even touched, there should be a flag. No other flag should be thrown for any reason in any game.
That's why we like Jim Melvin. Man. He's
Corey says, Amazon will buy the Washington Commanders. Well, let's see. The report was him and Jay-Z are going to make a little group together to buy them. So let's see if that actually happens. I heard there was like 4 or 5 groups interested.
Is he going to buy you, Alex? Hammy?
I don't do human trafficking. Sorry, Hammy.
Sorry, Hammy.
Christopher Cole.
He's more creative than ours. Yeah, he's right.
Fair.
Not wrong.
And Jason likes Ben's Johnson.
How do you know? You haven't seen it.
All right. Let's go back into some of these picks.
Yes, please.
The Chargers at the Falcons. I'm taking the Chargers.
I'm going to go Chargers as well. I was a little conflicted here, but they've had a week off, the Chargers, and that's helping. That's going to help Herbert with his ribs that week rest. Yeah. So even though Keenan Allen's not playing, I still think they're going to edge by the Falcons. I think it should be a close game, but
yep.
Okay.
I mean, the Falcons are playing everyone close, so I expect this to go right down to the wire.
Absolutely.
But I am leaning the Chargers. Alec?
I got the Seahawks. No, I don't. I think wrong person.
Okay, you got the Seahawks over the Falcons.
Chargers or Falcons?
I have Chargers. Look at the wrong game. Wrong week.
All right.
Who did Marty?
Corey. They both picked the Chargers.
Okay.
So far, we all picked the Eagles. We all picked the Patriots. Johnny, Ben, and Marty picked the Packers. Me and Alec picked the Lions. And everyone picked the Chargers.
Well, I'm going to root for the Lions this weekend. I want them to beat the Packers. So
I'm hoping so too, so I can start catching up to you guys. Jesus. I'm just glad you guys all picked the Packers, so at least if the Lions win, I'm making ground there.
Hey, we're doing anything to help you out, bud. Okay.
And Jim said Chargers are one of the weirdest teams in the league. Yeah, that whole division outside of Kansas City is very weird. Like, none of them are what we thought they'd be.
Let me humble myself here and say I thought the Chiefs were going to miss the playoffs. No.
I thought so too. I had them as the first team out in the AFC, I believe.
Yeah.
So, was very wrong about that. The AFC is still going to roll through both Buffalo and Kansas City. So, I still expect that to be either the AFC Championship or divisional round, based on how the seeding goes. But this time in Buffalo, I would expect. Speaking of Buffalo, Bills at the Jets.
Bills.
Bills.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
Hi, Pink.
It's actually not pink. It's not pink today. Don't try that.
Douche Flutie made an appearance?
Yep.
So far, Corey had Eagles, Patriots, Lions. So he picked right along with me and Alec there. All right. Well, Corey's picking the Jets over the Bills. He's going for the upset.
Okay. Division games are always close. I mean,
if Breece Hall was there, I would consider it.
Yeah. I'm just saying, though. Division games, sometimes they get the better. Look at the Panthers. They beat the Bucs. So.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we talked about that Hawkinson trade earlier, Hawkinson's new team, Minnesota, is going to Washington. I'm taking the Vikings.
This was my toughest one, dude. I mean,
Yeah, me too.
I wanted to say the Vikings. I wanted to kind of say the Commanders, but because defensively they've actually played pretty good.
Yeah.
Minnesota just has too much, and I don't
Yeah.
think Heineke can continue to pull out wins out of his butt. So I'm going to go Minnesota, but this another close game. But I'm going to go Minnesota by a field goal. It'd be one of those.
I can see the second field goal kind of thing.
Yeah,
I really could.
Yeah,
Alec.
What game is this again?
Vikings, Commies. Oilers, Packers.
I picked the Commanders on that one.
Okay.
Oh,
Look at this email. My bad.
You know we're on a show, right?
The email keeps popping up. It's for
Jason.
personal. No, he's actually emailing you. Don't try that.
No, he's not. He doesn't have my email.
He doesn't have my email either.
How
Good luck
do you know?
finding my email.
Why you keep getting emails on the show then?
From work.
Oh, is that what it's okay? Classified? I mean,
Who's Facebook user?
I don't know.
Oh, that's Sean.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought so as soon as I saw this one.
I saw that. I was like, wait, okay, never mind.
If you
I can't doubt Taylor. I can't pick against him. Every time, he always finds some way just to prove me fucking wrong. Hence why when I was in Washington, how that ended out.
I think he means Davis Mills, but he said, who thinks the Bucs should have drafted Mills instead of Trask? I mean, I was one of those people right from the beginning. I was higher on Mills.
Alec Mills? Wow.
Davis Mills, I think he meant.
Yeah, don't suck yourself too hard there, Alec.
There's Alec Pierce to Alec Mills.
Alex. We're gonna get comments.
No, I was fully expecting that. Scott, we have not talked that game yet, so you are not too late. It is coming up fairly soon.
Alex's friend.
I don't know why it's not showing
me. Because you're a Facebook user, that's why.
Did you click the link on the thing? Because the same reminder every week, if you go to the bottom of the Facebook caption, there's the link saying that you give us permission
Bucs
to see your name.
Wow.
The resident Rams fan is going off. Let's keep moving so we can get to that game and discuss it a little bit. Carolina at Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
I'm going Bengals.
Bengals.
So far, Ben, these guys have not disagreed with you, either Johnny or Marty. They've both agreed with you the entire way.
Smart people right there. I know what they're talking about.
John Dean. Well, John Dean's a tractor company. It's based off in, I think, Florida, right? The John Dean tractor company.
John Deere.
Yeah, you think John? Yeah, it's John Deere. Buster, thank you for tuning in. How you doing, Scott? Johnny's just taken a few weeks off. He's got some stuff to deal with. He'll be back eventually. I don't have an exact time, so he'll be back eventually. Jim says, I'm a huge Brady fan, but the Bucs' current beat-up offensive line needs some Lamar Jackson type. Yeah, you can't have a statue back there with how the offensive line's been.
Yeah, too many injuries. We had a retirement.
Oh, look, Alec is using his right hand. Oh, cool.
Corey's got Bengals over Panthers. And Scott is going after Alec already. You'll love to see it.
Yes. Both hands.
All right. Raiders at the Jaguars.
I'm going Raiders.
Part of me wanted to pick Jaguars so badly because of how it happened last week. But it's like, there's no way they do that 2 weeks in a row, right?
They'll find a way. Jaguar. It's one of those games where who finds the way to lose more, the Raiders or Jaguars?
I think the Raiders do this week. I'm rolling with the Jaguars.
Okay.
in an ugly close one. I fully expect that. I see mistake after mistake after mistake.
Yeah, I have Raiders in that one.
You have Raiders?
Yeah, I wanted to pick the Jaguars, but it's like something told me not to do it. So I'm just gonna stay away from it and just go with that one. If it shoots me in the wrong way, well.
Ben, this is the first one you've disagreed with Johnny and Marty on.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that one. It's not big enough to use two hands.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Jim asked a good question. Is Trevor bad because the Jags are bad, or are the Jags bad because Trevor is bad?
That's a tough question.
That is.
I got to put it on Trevor. I don't think he's progressed because think about it. Their offensive line is a little bit better. He's getting time in the pocket, but I'm still seeing some throws that are just awful.
Yeah,
I got to put it on Trevor.
And I think a lot of it was he made these same throws in college that he's making now, but it's just the coverage wasn't as good, so his receivers were able to go up and get those balls. It was a lot of uncontested throws that his receivers could make catches on, where now the coverage is so much tighter that you've got to be more accurate with the throws. So I agree. It's slightly on Trevor. And speaking of errant throws, that was a bad throw by Davis Mills, a very bad throw.
Well, there is a flag.
And it was on offense. It's Eagles ball game.
Planet ball game.
That's the game, yep. So, little update. It is 29-17 for Philadelphia with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left. Philly just picked off the ball. That's ball game.
But the good news is their Astros are up 2-1.
All right.
So, not all bad for Houston.
All right, Alec, you got anything to add onto this question here on the screen?
Mm-mm. I don't want to touch the question. It's
what was the best response of the night?
Because I don't even know about that one.
Corey's going Jags over the Raiders.
Me personally, I think Jags are bad because no matter what quarterback they have, it's always a fire sale.
I mean, they made an AFC championship with Blake Bortles, so.
Yeah, but they also had Calais Campbell.
And Jalen Ramsey and Leonard Fournette and Miles Jack and AJ Boye.
Yep.
Close Oh, Jason.
Ben, have your fanboys been here?
I think it means Jason and Hammy, and yes, they've been here. Hammy's been lurking in the shadows. He hasn't said anything in a while, but
he's letting Jason have all the fun, right?
And then Chris says I was thinking of the Cubs pitcher Alec Mills.
Oh, I'm a pitcher now.
Good.
And great points, Alex and Ben.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Jim, you should give us your thoughts too. Let's see what you think about that. All right, the next game, Dolphins at Bears. I got the Dolphins.
I'm going to Miami.
Yeah.
I got Miami on that one.
This one might be closer though than people expect because the Texans, the Bears have actually played pretty good defense, so they're going to keep you in games. But
now, again, how much was that Roquan Smith?
Right. So now that's going to be the test. You lost Quinn, you lost Roquan Smith. I mean, you really lost a lot. I mean, Brisker's probably their best defensive player, and he's a rookie.
Yeah, it's between him and Jalen Johnson. So,
So, I mean, that it might be close early on, but I think Miami pulls away in the second half.
Yeah, I fully agree with that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Corey's got the Dolphins over the Bears. Scott says, if I was going to change teams, it wouldn't be the Bucs, but maybe Alec. He seems like such a nice young man. In brackets, bitch.
Wow. Thanks, Scott. I actually picked your Rams to win this week, so don't go shit talking this week.
Jim says, Tua is another injury waiting to happen. I don't trust him to put together a long, good stretch. And here come Jason and Hammy, more than likely, off that comment. But yeah, I agree. I think Tua, especially the way he plays when he's running the ball, like he doesn't slide too much. He's still taking those hits, worries the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But man, he's playing so freaking well right now.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see them throwing that ball. Damn, some of these throws he's made, just like,
yeah,
how do you do that? You know, especially for a left-handed quarterback.
He's so freaking accurate.
And it's like get the balls out fast. I think he has one of the fastest release times, right, in the NFL.
I would say so.
Alex is covering me with his blanket.
Thank you for tuning in, Andrew. How's it going?
Andrew, what's up, buddy? Thanks for tuning in, dude.
All right, what do we got next? The game Alec tried to pick like 6 games ago, Seattle and Arizona.
Seahawks.
I got the Seahawks. No, I got the Cardinals.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I'm riding the Seattle's wave until they lose because they're just playing good football lately.
This was another one of those chances I'm taking to try and catch up. That's absolutely what this was.
In your heart, it's more Seattle, but
yeah,
you're playing. I mean, you're more in your mind. It's going to be Seattle, but you're taking a risk, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Okay. I might pay off. I don't know, but I just think Geno Smith has done such a good job. You know, leading that offense. He's not turning the ball over, which was one of his big problems, you know, before he got to Seattle.
Yeah.
His accuracy is a lot better. I mean, he has a good connection with Lockett and Metcalf and their other tight end who in the Denver trade, right? What's his
Fant, yeah.
Well, Fant. Yeah. So, and Kenneth Walker, having a good running back is going to help a good quarterback. So, I mean, that offense is on fire right now.
Well, it was interesting to see too. I saw a clip specifically. I think it was Joel Klatt showed it, or it was one of those Fox guys, Klatt or Coward or someone, and they called a penalty on the offense, and Carroll started to lose his shit, and then Geno came over and started to lose his shit, and then it clicked immediately for Carroll, and he's like, "Hey Geno, like let's calm down, like we're good," and then Geno calms down and gets everyone else to calm down, and the next play they go score a long touchdown, like. It's a very veteran-led team that's doing very well.
Well, and plus, young players, Pete Carroll can connect with young players because they're not making the big money right now. They're playing. It's kind of that we got to prove ourselves, and it's working, dude. It is really working. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but they could be a threat to win that division with the 49ers. I really.
Jim says it perfectly right here. It's a rare example of a system overriding the talent.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That's a great comment. It's 100%. But it's Pete Carroll who's such a good coach. He gets the best out of his players. You know, you can just see that. So, and boy, Russell Wilson's got to be like, what the fuck, man? Like, how you doing so well and I'm down here? You know?
Well, and shout out to Andrew because this happened on his show, North Sports Dynasty, a couple weeks ago. Where I was on, and we were talking about why did everyone go right off the Steelers and the Patriots? They have Tomlin and Belichick. I think it's time to give Pete Carroll that respect too. Everyone wrote off the Seahawks. Everyone expected them to be awful this year. He's got them leading that division right now. He's got them in a playoff spot.
I had them pegged at 3 wins. They've already won 5.
I did too. I had them with a top 3 pick.
I mean,
just insane.
It's amazing. I think Seattle and San Fran, aren't they the last game of the year?
Oh shit.
I believe so.
Let's think about that. That could be for a
Wow.
division title and home game in the playoffs. It's a big
Wow.
deal. And where the hell's he going?
I'll be right back. I gotta go downstairs real quick.
Wait, before you go.
Yes, Mr.
Did
Loose
you actually pick the Seahawks, or did you just say that
Yeah.
6 games ago for no reason?
No, I said Seahawks.
Okay.
What's the next one? So I'm not missing that one either.
You already said that one. It's your guys' game.
Oh my! Wait a second.
I can imagine John.
Oh yeah.
Damn it out.
Scott says, I think Rams and Bucs are playing for the best draft pick. Well, if the Bucs can win that, so the Lions can improve that draft pick, please. If that's what they're playing for right now, please help the Lions in any possible way.
No.
And then Scott goes on to say Kyler Murray is too short. He's still getting it done though. Enough.
Yeah. Well, are we talking about the Bucs game now? Like the Rams and
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Bucs. I have no confidence in either team the way they're playing right now, but I just think the Bucs are gonna do just enough because they're out.
Okay.
To squeak one out, and then it'll be ugly, but a win's a win. So,
well, you're lone wolfing this one. Everyone else went the Rams. To me, this is literally just what it's going to come down to is it's going to be ugly on both sides, but the Rams pass rush versus your guys' offensive line for me is the slight edge. That's literally the splitting hair for me is just
fair enough. But you know what? What if we get like a 40-37 type game? I could see that too.
I could absolutely see that too. The one game where Allen Robinson decides to pull his head out of his ass and do something.
Yeah.
I could totally see that. Get through some more of these comments here. Corey says he's got Cardinals over Seahawks in Arizona, so they will split this season. That's what I have too. I think they'll split. I don't know how they're going to stop Hopkins. That's where I think this is going to be high scoring between the Cardinals and Seahawks. I think both offenses explode this game. Yeah, we said that one. Jim says, "Hey Andrew." Jim says the Seahawks are converting on third down. That's the key to everything. Yeah, if you stay on the field, you're at least going to score 3 points. So, Scott, that was a voice that was a sound that was made. It wasn't an actual fart.
That was Alec, by the way.
Yeah, it was Alec as he was leaving. Scott says, I'm starting a GoFundMe for Alec so he can redecorate his room with Eagle stuff. Scott, you should have heard him before the show. He was not very happy. He had a whole parlay set up, and everything hit except the Eagles to be winning at halftime. And of course, they tied by missing that field goal. He was not a happy camper to start the show tonight. That was for damn sure. Jim, the only way the Bucs win is if the defense goes bonkers. Yeah, it's going to take a big game by that Bucs defense. Corey's going the Bucs over the Rams. He's got a score of 27-14. I think it's going to be closer than that. I think it's going to be a single-digit difference.
Yeah.
Andrew says, good to see you, Jim.
It's always good to see you, Jim.
Jason explodes for every game. Good for you, Jason. Tennessee at Kansas City, the Sunday night game.
I'm going to go Chiefs.
Me too. I also.
Although Tennessee does seem to have their numbers, so but I'm going to go Chiefs.
I just think that offense for Kansas City's clicking way too well right now.
Right.
For Tennessee to stop it. Jim says, thanks. And Scott says Rams 7, Bucs 3.
You know what's bad? That could probably happen.
You know what? Let's go for like a 3-2 kind of game.
Why not? Get a baseball score in there.
Oh man. Yeah, I think whether it's high scoring or low scoring, I think this game's just going to be extremely ugly. I don't expect it to be anything like the conference championship game or that regular season game last year.
And I believe that's the only afternoon game. Well, maybe the Saints Seahawks.
Are you serious?
But like the whole country's going to see the Rams and Bucs.
Oh man.
I know. Actually, out here in Vegas, we're getting the Seahawks Cardinals game in the afternoon as well. So we'll have 2 afternoon games, but that's just regional. So.
Oh man.
Everybody else
That's right. Those are the only 2 afternoon games. Wow. That is ugly.
Hey, they thought, well, Rams and Bucs was going to be a primetime matchup, and Seahawks and Cardinals weren't. But then now it's kind of the other way around.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just the way it is. Have they started flexing yet? I mean, this should be the time they should start flexing games, right?
I think we're getting in that area. But it's like, which one would you really flex?
Yeah.
If you look at it, like, I mean,
yeah, it's one of those weeks, I guess. Like, you're just gonna have to suck it up. And
had Breece Hall been healthy, I would flex Buffalo and the Jets.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't really know. Appreciate that, Jim. Says great show. You guys are a lot of fun.
Jim. Appreciate it.
Corey has jumped the gun and picked the Monday nighter. Alec, Chiefs Titans. Who do you got?
I'll have Chiefs on that one.
Chiefs. All right. So everyone picked the Chiefs.
Yep.
And then let's just get the Monday night one out of the way. Ravens and Saints. We all picked against the Saints last week and they won. Is anyone picking the Saints this week?
Picking the Ravens.
I'm picking the Ravens too. Alec?
I'm picking the Ravens.
All right.
Now, hopefully Lamar Jackson will be okay for Monday night's game. He was being threatened by Jeff Jarrett on AEW last night.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, the show was in Baltimore, so Lamar Jackson was at the show. So.
I was gonna say, are we gonna get like Rodman and WCW kind of thing with
we're not
with Lamar Jackson?
No. John Harbaugh was like, "No, you're not."
Yeah. He's like, "The hell you're doing that?" Like,
yeah.
Scott says, "I'm not even watching Rams versus Bucs. It hurts to laugh that long. I could get a hernia."
Probably.
That's. You know what that game's going to be? It's going to be when Seahawks Cardinals is in commercial. If that game's going, I'll watch that during commercial.
Yeah.
Corey.
No coin stealers.
Speaking of coin stealers, Michael Thomas again. Out for the rest of the season again after the trade deadline. Yeah.
That's what happens when you can't run more than one route.
I saw something that since 2019 he hasn't even played 10 games.
Yeah,
probably.
Like it's insane.
He's missing his boy Drew.
He might be.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our picks. Let's see. Johnny and Marty agreed on literally everything. Literally everything. Ben, you disagreed with them picking the Raiders and the Bucs. I disagreed with them picking the Lions, the Cardinals. Just those two. And Alec, you disagreed picking the Lions, the Commanders. Disagreed with them by picking the Raiders. Yeah, that's it. So hopefully I can catch up with those 2 games I got different. Really hoping I can start clawing my way back in.
Fingers crossed.
But I took a couple Hail Marys this week, I think, for sure.
Yep. Either going to be Hail Marys or Hallelujah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. All right, so we talked the TJ Hawkinson trade, but let's talk some of these other big trades that happened here at the deadline. For me, I want to start with the Bradley Chubb to Miami one. Because I didn't mean to click that. The other big time news that happened today was the Dolphins and Bradley Chubb agreeing to a 5-year, $110 million extension that, with the extra year on the contract, still locks him up for the next 6 years. It's a little bit of an overpay, if you ask me, just because as an edge rusher, he's not getting the numbers you'd necessarily like. Now, he is playing well against the run, so there's that. But the interesting part for me is you look at that Trey Lance trade where San Francisco gave them all those picks. That turned into Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Bradley Chubb for Trey Lance.
I mean, they're obviously want to win now. That's when you make these kind of moves. So either Bradley Chubb's going to turn out to be a great signing, or it could be Ndamukong Suh. You know what I mean? Like, he got his money, and then didn't really see the best of Suh until he went to the Rams for that 1 year for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Bucs and helped us win a Super Bowl. So I don't know. I mean, you might as well. I mean, you want to get a good defensive player while he's in his prime. 5 years, that's not too many years. So
he's only 26 right now. So
yeah. So I mean, you can get out of that contract after whenever his guarantee money runs out, if he's not producing like you paid him to. So yeah, I'm okay with it.
I like it for both sides because now Denver's got a first-round pick this next year.
Yeah.
Which they didn't have one and they desperately needed one. So
build draft capital. Yeah. Hey,
Nathan, thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, man. How you doing, Nate? Ravens fan too. So big game Monday night, man.
Yes, big time game. And Scott says, can you call me when you guys come on next? I don't do Facebook by phone. I need to add my comments to keep Alex amused. Now, are you keeping me amused or Alec amused? Because you've been going after Alec. Jason, I love talking show. Doing fine. I just finished watching the game. Yeah, it was a good game for longer than I expected it to be. And he says he's nervous about the game Monday night.
Somewhat. I mean, Saints defense is still pretty good, but their offense, I don't know. I mean, that was more the Raiders just being awful,
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, it's a good game. It might be a good game.
Well, and New Orleans is always a tough place to play. That stadium's always rocking. So, but I think the Ravens play the right style of game to go in there and win that game. Right. You guys have the ability to take those chunk plays down the field, but you also can chew the clock, pound the ball down their throats, and just dink and dunk your way down the field and take the time. So,
Josh Jacobs did pretty decent in that game for the Raiders against the Saints. He ran it pretty good.
Yeah.
So they went away from the run too much was the problem. So
yeah. And for me, I think Roquan Smith, even though it's only going to be 5-6 days by the time that game comes that he's been in Baltimore, I think he's going to be huge in that game because not only do you get the leading tackler in the NFL right now in Roquan Smith, but what it allows you to do with Patrick Queen is massive. Queen is so athletic. You can bring him as a blitzing linebacker. You can put him off the edge. You can put him as an outside linebacker to kind of roam the side more. It's going to be a huge thing for Patrick Queen and that Ravens defense.
Absolutely. And the linebackers were a strength to begin with. Now they're even stronger. So Baltimore just knows. They know how to do it defensively. And, now the offense is going to have to pick it up, a little bit because, again, they've blown some games, which, you could say, well, the defense blew games. But the thing is that the offense hasn't been able to run the clock, the time of possession, keep the chains moving. And if you don't, make those first downs, you're going to get your defense, who's already tired, more tired, back out there. So it works both ways.
Yeah, and you look at that Ravens-Dolphins game, like there's no way the Dolphins should score 3-4 touchdowns in one quarter. Like that's both sides of the ball falling on their ass. That's the offense not being able to get first downs, and that's the defense being exhausted and not being able to stop a nosebleed. Like,
right, yeah,
it's hard to win any game playing that way, no matter who you're playing.
Agreed.
And Scott clarified that he was saying to keep me amused. Yeah, I enjoy the back and forth between anybody, so it's fun to sit back and watch. Nathan says, "What's up with Michael Thomas? That's 2 years he's been out."
I'm calling him Kawhi. That's what he is. Yeah.
I might almost. Well, yeah, it's like Kawhi. It's like Ben Simmons. It's almost Mike Trout from a few years ago, where it was like he's so good, but you hardly see him. Like,
that's what I'm going to call
Kawhi Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said this, just before you got on, Nathan, but I think I saw somewhere he's only played like 9 games since 2019, which is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Scott tags Nathan and said Lamar will be a Ram soon. And how are they gonna? Yeah, how are you guys gonna make that one work?
Yeah,
he's more likely to be a Lion than a Ram. At least he put the Lions on the list of teams he actually consider going to. So,
and
yeah, more likely to be
a Lion. McVay's second wife is Matt Stafford, so he's married to him, so they're not getting divorced anytime soon.
Stafford ain't going nowhere.
Yep.
Sean said, not sure if y'all talked about this, but how much will TJ Hawkinson play Sunday? That's an interesting one because O'Connell's offense is quite dynamic. It's one of those tougher offenses to learn. So I could see him kind of like what we saw with McCaffrey that first game with San Francisco. Maybe just a couple packages he's in.
Yeah.
But I'd say a decent bit.
Maybe like 10 or 12 plays.
Yeah. So I was going to say about 25-30% of the snaps. So yeah, right in that area, I would say.
Yeah, and they're going to want to play him anyway. They got to get him out there used to the offense and everything, get used to his new team. The chemistry's got to build. So yeah, he's definitely going to play. It's just you're going to kind of just slowly insert him into the lineup. So yeah, I mean, it's a good pick for him. Listen, the trade was good for them. They're winning right now. Irv Smith's been out, so they needed to replace him. And Hawkinson does, except for the blocking, that's kind of his weak point, but he brings a lot of intangibles to the team. And again, good trade. I feel bad for the Lions because it's like for Lions fans, like here we go again. But for Minnesota, though, it should help them. Out a lot.
I think it pushes their offense over the top.
Yeah.
Because Hawkinson's a big upgrade over Irv Smith Jr. They have nothing else in for his availability.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I think this kind of takes that offense over the top. I believe this is still Sean. Says Isaiah Likely is legit, which he is. He was a monster at Coastal Carolina. Coastal beat App State tonight, by the way. Damn. Okay. Wonder how much of that was Grayson McCall for Coastal tonight. He's played very solid for them so far.
Speaking of college, it's rivalry week.
Yeah.
Florida State and Miami.
How do you think that game's going to go?
I think we're going to win that game. I
do too.
We got enough, to.
Don't say it too loud. You know who's going to hear it.
Yeah, and by the way, I mean, if you can only beat Virginia by 2 in overtime, that's a problem. Miami 14-12. So,
and we didn't even mention Middle Tennessee State. So
yeah, and it's going to be close. It's a rivalry game.
Yeah,
it's going to be extra motivation.
Although all rivalry game wasn't close last week, so.
Well, true. Yeah. But see, Florida State kind of keeps you in games because
Yeah.
their offense, it's either feast or famine. Either Jordan Travis
absolutely.
does great or he struggles. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's the former, not the latter.
Yeah, I fully agree. I'm guessing this is Sean again. Says Lamar to Washington, new owner, new QB.
Hell, I would do it. Shit.
If you're Washington, go all in. Why not?
Dude, I mean,
I would. They've got the weapons there.
Carson. Get him out of there.
Yeah. I fully agree with that. If you're any team that is kind of willing to take that shot, go all in for Lamar. Do it. He's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not going to move far. I mean, Baltimore and Landover is not very far, so he's still right in the area. I mean, it makes sense.
No, yeah, I fully agree. Nathan says, do you think the Lions are realistically drafting a quarterback in the draft? So I was talking to my brother about this the other night, and I kind of hinted at it earlier. I want a quarterback like Garoppolo, a guy that's shown he can win, but isn't going to cost top dollar. So I want defense, and then when it comes to the draft, and then maybe if he's still there in that late second, early third area, I want them to go get like a Sam Hartman from Wake Forest. I think he might still be there around that time, and if he is, you absolutely go get him. I love his arm talent and his intangibles. So if you could have him sit for a year, maybe two behind Jimmy, and then have him take over, I would absolutely love that.
See, that's I love the approach like that because you don't want to ever rush somebody in, so early. I mean, and that's really been the problem with the NFL,
Yeah.
Like when you get drafted so high, I mean, you're going to be starting right away because, I mean, look at guys like Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence right now.
Or even Baker when they were.
And Baker, they haven't really progressed.
Yeah.
Mainly because they've been thrown into the fire right away. They just don't have enough time to learn, Why do you think a guy like Patrick Mahomes has done so well? He learned from Alex Smith. He sat behind him for like a year.
Yeah.
He learned. I mean, sometimes you got to get lucky. And, yes, Josh Allen's kind of the exception to the rule, but for the most part,
look at the talent he's got around him, though. Like
that too. But I'm just saying, I mean, Trevor Lawrence has some talent around him, but he's still struggling. I mean,
yeah, true.
It's just the quarterback position. There's only 32 of them, and it's so tough for a rookie to go in there right away and try to be successful. So,
yeah, the bullets fly so much faster.
That's
like
right.
it takes some time to get used to. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I believe this is Sean again. It says, Alec, how long will you be in the 757?
Hopefully not long enough. They can live on.
Of course, speaking of Jacksonville and Lawrence there, how about Calvin Ridley traded the Jaguars suspension 2022 full season? Here's the thing.
He got traded to a team. The crazy part is he got traded to a team that he betted on.
Yeah.
He betted on the Falcons to cover the spread against the Jaguars.
Well, I think the Jaguars are taking a gamble on this one.
Yep.
Well, what a coincidence, right?
You get it? They're taking a gamble on this one.
Oh, now I see why Sean's saying that. We might come down this weekend is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm crippled, so I can't really go far.
Here's the thing with Ridley is, while we're all saying the suspension's just for this season, it's an indefinite suspension. They could, if they don't feel like reinstating him, they could just sit back and be like, no, he's still suspended. So you're trading for a guy that you don't know, one, if the league's going to allow him to play again, and two, the last time we saw him, he was walking away because of mental health issues. So we don't know what's going on there if everything's good between the ears. Like, this guy may never play a game for you.
So you're saying Falcons won this trade?
Absolutely.
You got us a draft pick. Cool.
Now, if they do reinstate him next year, he comes back and balls out, then I think Jacksonville wins this trade. But until we see him get on the field and play very well, Atlanta wins this trade.
Yeah.
It's a huge risk for Jacksonville.
Yeah, off the subject, but it's 3-2 now. Phillies bottom of the ninth, so we got runners on third.
3-2 Phillies?
No, Astros.
Oh, okay.
Runners on first and third, one out in the bottom of the ninth. So
Sorry,
I'm laughing because they show like the crowd of like the fans. It's like all Eagle fans.
Statement.
It's like one Texans fan. And I guess like her husband's an Eagles fan, so she's like the only one there trying to hold the flag up like a little towel.
I think
it's like a sea of green and just one red.
I think Lamar to Washington, I don't think it's that blasphemous a comment. I really don't. Sorry, Nathan, but I think if they feel like they're at that spot to take that shot, absolutely do it. Corey says Lamar to the Bucs next season.
Hey Ben, look at the TV. The Eagles fan with the tattoos all over him.
Alex, you don't want Kyle Trask. You don't want Blaine Gabbert. Come on.
Kyle Trask is the next Tom Brady 2.0.
That's right.
You just gotta look past it. Just pass off flaws, and then if you close your eyes, if you go it's a fun fact.
What's that?
Every year, the Bucs are Super Bowl champions somewhere around the world.
So are the Lions.
Yeah, there's people all over the world that think the Lions are a fucking dynasty. So
yeah,
I even know that they make Super Bowl championship shirts for every single team before the season starts. They just fucking donate that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, somewhere in the world, Bucs won Super Bowl 10 years in a row.
Yeah,
they come to the States in a game. What kind of shit is this?
Nathan says, but does that fix the problems before Jared got there? I think if you load up the defense, it does. Because as we've seen with Jared, the offense isn't the issue. So you go get a cheaper quarterback. Jimmy can do everything Jared does. I think they're essentially the same kind of quarterback. So it's just Jimmy wins more. That's all it is. But if you get Jimmy in there, another guy who's good, not great, and then you fix that defense, then you've got a solid team. But I think until you totally reboot that defense, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you do have some offensive talent on the Lions, even though you just got rid of one. With Swift, with some
Amon Ra.
Brown, St. Brown,
On Jameson Williams, I think might end up being our most dynamic guy. He hasn't even shown up yet.
Yeah, so and he's activated this week, right? Is it this week?
I believe so. But they've said they fully intend on not playing him until like December. So that's been the full intention as of late. We'll see if that changes, because if they do start to take some games here and are trying to make that push, then I think you bring him in as soon as he's ready. But Nathan says, I don't think it's fair to close the door on Jared. He's been playing fine. The only reason I'm saying we're going to move on from Jared is the $30 million cap hit next year, where we can save 20 of that by getting rid of him. That's why I fully expect him to be gone next year.
Yeah, he's not your future. I mean, let's face it, it's not your future. And so 20, 30, I mean, what is it again? You're going to cut 20 million out of that 30, right?
Yeah, you'll save 20 out of that 30. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's an easy call right there.
Yeah. And to me, like, I'd be happy with them. Like, if they don't go after Jimmy or someone like that, I'd still be happy if they kept Jared and drafted a guy and let that guy sit and learn. I don't want to throw CJ Stroud, a Bryce Young, any of those guys into the fire early. So what I would do is load up on defense early, second or third round, go like I said, a Sam Hartman, a Grayson McCall, a Jaron Hall from BYU, someone like that, and let them develop.
But I'll tell you this though, and I hate this because this is where GMs and ownership gets involved.
Yeah.
They want it now.
Yeah.
And you look, what's her name? The Ford. What the daughter's name? What's the?
Sheila Ford Hamp.
Okay, Sheila Ford Hamp. She can say all the right things. We're rebuilding this and that, but what is she really thinking? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword, man. Like I said earlier, you don't want to put in a young quarterback in right away, but at the same time, if the pressure's on, then it's going to force your hand a little bit, and it could be feast or famine, So.
And at the same time, if you're looking at it from the perspective of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, if you get that young quarterback in there, it might buy you a little more time. If you're looking at it from their perspective.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
that's how most of these guys that are trying to save their job do it. They go after a young quarterback and be like, look, I'm trying to build this guy up.
right.
I'm fully expecting if we're in that top 3 to go quarterback. I would honestly rather go, if we're in that top 3, go Will Anderson, pair him with Hutchinson, and there's your pass rush. But
I'd do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, him and Hutchinson?
Yeah. I would fully do that.
Dude,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Probably quarterback. Buster says Tom Brady goes to the Lions next year. Oh.
Might as well end your career in the state where it all began.
At this
I
point,
think he's done.
Do you want a 46-year-old quarterback, even if his name is Tom Brady?
No, and not the way he's looking this year. I don't.
The thing is like everybody wants like he says in his interview, he's like I want to see retirement in my future. I'm like, dude, just finish the season and just.
Well, when he says retirement, it doesn't necessarily mean playing football. I think it's because he signed that new Fox deal to be an announcer. I think that's what he meant. He doesn't see retirement in his view from the game of football.
Yeah, doesn't see leaving football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nathan says Steve Bisciotti could own both teams in Maryland. See, and here's the thing is we talk about this person buying the Commanders and this person buying the Commanders and this person buying the Commanders. It has to be agreed upon by the rest of the owners.
Right.
So would they allow Bisciotti to own 2 teams, or Biscotti, or however you say it? I don't think they would.
Yeah, I don't. I can just see Jared like, I don't think so. I don't want that Amazon guy, that Bezos guy to own a football team. Why don't you let
we can buy
Jerry
2 teams?
Jerry Jones is damn near senile, so.
He is senile.
Did you see that Halloween costume? He was dressed as a referee or something.
A blind NFL ref, yeah.
That was great. I'm sure he's going to get a nice little fine from the league.
Yeah, the NFL. It sounded like they were planning on fining him.
Roger's like, okay.
Every possession the Cowboys going to get a flag.
That's that punishment where like your dad is like yelling so your mom thinks you're getting in trouble, but he's like, yeah, okay, that was kind of funny. Like this is the boot in the ass as you're going into the room, and then like, okay, high five. Like that was well done. Like I don't think they're actually pissed about it, but it's one of those things where you just kind of got to slap the fine on them.
Just a statement. It's more of a statement. That's what it is. Jerry's like, yeah, I got the money. Here we go.
Scott says Chase Daniels needs a quarterback job. How about him taking Brady's job? I already have Tom's wife. Jesus. All right. Corey says Eagles 17-0 season. No. They'll lose 3-4 games. It'll happen. They'll split with the Giants. They'll probably split with the Cowboys. I originally had them losing to Indy because it's in Indianapolis. I don't think that really happens now, but you never know. And every team loses a game or two that Jason's comment. I'll just throw it up now. He said, actually, Johnny, you can read it.
Actually, Johnny Dean reminds me of Jerry Jones. Horny and Cena.
Oh. And the best thing is he's not watching it now. He's going to watch it tomorrow.
Yeah, you're too lonely over there, Alec, my little pumpkin. I'll be right over.
No, you got Alex.
And then Hammy's back.
Who with his hat?
Dan Campbell on the hot seat. Not yet, but it's starting to get warm. That's how I would put it.
I thought I saw a little smoke coming from behind him at his last press conference. Maybe it's just I don't know, or or something. Yeah.
I would say it's starting to get warm. I would put it that way.
Yeah, just because they're 1-6, dude. They've been like the Raiders. They've been pretty disappointing. Now I didn't expect the Lions to be like a 4-3 team at this point, but the way the 1-6 record and how they're 1-6, I didn't expect that. It's been pretty bad.
For me at this point, I expected us to have what I would say. Well, I had 1, 2. I guess I only had 2 wins to this point, but it's like you said, it's how they've looked. With how bad the defenses looked, and then the 1 week the defense showed up, how bad the offense looked. It's just nothing's been working. And to this one, Nathan, she is right now. What we're saying is if they're sitting at 2-3 wins again, like they were at the end of last year, I think he might be out the door. Like Ben said, they can say full rebuild all they want, but at the same time, you still got to see progression from year to year. And like Dan Campbell said on Monday after the Aubrey Pleasant firing, this is a results-driven league. So I think at the end of the day, if they're, like we said, if they're sitting between 1 and 3 wins, I think he's probably out the door. 4 or more, I think he saved his job.
And what's even worse is Matt Patricia has a better record at this point than Dan Campbell is now.
Not by much, but he does.
But that's what I mean. It's that bad, And now, granted, he was left Patricia's garbage, to clean up.
And Patricia during that time was throwing everybody out the door. So he still had Slay, he still had Stafford, he still had all that talent. Where Campbell started with the bare bones, but like he said, the words literally came out of his mouth that this is a results-driven league. So, and Nathan, I think the GM would be the one to pull the trigger on the firing to save his job, because if you look at it, like I just said, when they got there, it was bare bones outside of Stafford, Swift, Hawkinson, like 3-4 guys. There was next to nothing there. They've drafted very well so far. They found a ton of talent, whether it was round 1, like St. Brown was round 4. They had 3 undrafted corners play very well last year that were hurt and are just finding their way back in this year, but they're going right into the starting lineup. He's found talent all throughout the draft, and some of these lower level free agent signings have produced fairly well. I mean, look at Charles Harris last year. So he's done a good job. At the end of the day, the coaches do have to show up and make these guys perform. So,
and usually, a GM usually gets 2 head coaches.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work second time, then
typically the GM gets 3 to 5 drafts. Depends on how pushy they are. Next year's the 3rd draft.
Yeah, 3 to 5 drafts and 2 head coaches. 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. So, see, Corey, here's the thing is there's still some bad blood between the two. And even if there wasn't, the offensive coordinator position, I feel, is locked down with Ben Johnson. He has been so freaking good calling the plays this year. Other than, like, 5 quarters, I would say the entire Dallas game and then a bit of the Miami game here, or the entire New England game, sorry.
No, it's okay. Look, I mean, the whole Calvin and the bad blood. I mean, he was still under contract, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to honor the contract. I understand. Hey, this organization sucks, and I want out of here.
Well, and it was $1
But at the same
million. That's where I'm at.
But yeah, but still, you signed the
On both
contract.
sides.
Yeah, and on both sides. But you're there. You signed the deal. Suck it up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but as far as him being an offensive coordinator, he doesn't seem that like the kind of guy that's going to coach.
I don't think he's a coaching type. I don't.
No, I don't either.
And he seems happy with that cannabis business that him and Rob Sims and a couple of the other former Lions have started, and they're doing well with it.
Yeah.
So I think they're happy the way they are.
Yep.
I just saw Scott's comment. We'll get to that in a second. Where were we at here? Sean, Washington wins on 2 against Philly.
Give Sean credit, man. God, I love this guy. He is so confident. Yeah. I love it, man. Sean, you're cool, man.
Yeah.
Love your confidence, bro. I really do.
Yeah. And then he goes on to say
Lions beat us.
He goes on to say that the Lions beat us. They damn near had their game of the year. Oddly enough, I would say the game of the year was the Philly game the week before where they almost stole it.
Yeah. Or I would say that was probably the worst game of the year for Washington. I would probably pick the last.
Yeah, I agree with that. Scott says Ford fix or repair daily. Does Aaron Glenn stay? I think he'll get till the end of the season, but if the defense doesn't improve drastically, he's out the door. Which sucks because he's a damn good coach. I mean, but so was Aubrey Pleasant.
Yeah,
But damn good coaches get fired from jobs all the time, so.
Okay. I'm trying to say this as best as I can. I think as fans, sometimes we get too enamored with what we see on Hard Knocks. You know what I mean? Like you're thinking, oh man, you want to play for this guy. But you see
for me,
situation in every training camp, except the cameras were on Detroit this year.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta, I don't know. I think we sometimes as fans, and I'm probably guilty of it, we get enamored with
everyone is
what we see on Hard Knocks and think, oh, this man, it looks like they're going to turn this thing around. And the reality is all these coaches are doing the same thing, except there's no camera on them, so.
For me, the difference with Aaron Glenn is Hard Knocks didn't change how I felt about him because I've thought this since he was in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw him help progress that young secondary when Lattimore was just getting in the league and Marcus Williams and when they were building that secondary up, that's when I fell in love with Aaron Glenn as a coach. And I think he can still do that. It's just you go from coaching Marshawn Lattimore and Marcus Williams and all these guys to Jeff Okudah, Monty Oruwariye, and a couple other nobodies. So there's a huge talent gap there. And I think, you see I personally see the difference in Okudah from Patricia and his secondary coaches to Campbell, Glenn, and Pleasant. And to me, that still gives me hope for Aaron Glenn. But, I mean, like we say again and again, results-driven league.
Right, and that's the thing. Are they really good coaches, though, if you're 1-6 and the defense is your main problem? I mean, it just depends. Like Aaron Glenn, he could be a great coach in another defensive system. Maybe it's the system he's in now that could be one of the issues.
Well, it might be the thing, too, where he might just be a good DB coach and not necessarily coordinator, right?
Right,
so
as a coach in this league. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Go ahead, Alec.
Yeah.
I was letting you know it's Bob in the 9, 3-2, Houston. They had 2-1, double play. I'm going to make an Alec Bell pull his string, and he says, bitch, get it for your kids before they sell out. Oh, what was he want me to say to that one? Only one watcher. You need to raffle off Ben. Don't say it too loud. You might have some buyers.
Come on, Scott. Why did you raffle me off, buddy? Come on.
Jaguars are
you
hard
do.
knocks. I mean, I don't think unless they fire, because I think one of the requirements is you gotta have a new head coach, right?
No, you gotta have you gotta have a.
You
it
can't
be a
have a
rookie
first-year
season.
head coach.
Yeah, can't be, and you got to miss the playoffs in order.
Yeah.
So
you gotta miss the playoffs. You'd have a second-year head coach.
And unless you volunteer, you can't have been on Hard Knocks in the last, I think it's 5 years.
And I think the Jets would be. I could see them being a candidate if they don't make the playoffs. I could perfectly see, Saleh and those guys.
I don't think anyone wants to see Jaguars on Hard Knocks. That's it.
I don't know. I think that could be an interesting one, honestly. I would still lean the Jets. Or if the Giants collapse and miss playoffs, I'd love to see them. The Giants, I think, would be a very fun one. But I think they're going to make the playoffs, so
nothing was worse watching. What wasn't like 1 year they had the Rams and Chargers on the same year?
Yeah, when they had the first year in the new stadium.
That was just weird.
Or no, it was the first year they were in LA, I think.
Yeah.
Or we could see the Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah. Although they might get a new head coach, so they might be out of the running.
They're already asking for him to get fired already.
I know, that's Raiders fans. They're like, get rid of him. Like,
I don't see much difference from when he was in Denver, though. Like, I think he's not a good head coach. I
mean, it's hard to argue. It really is.
Yeah.
Because, 2-5 right now with all that talent. I mean, you got to remember, this is the 10-7 team that went to the playoffs with Rich Bisaccia.
And they won a bunch of games with Rich as the head coach after Gruden got fired. Like,
yeah.
I think they regret not keeping him.
Yeah, all of a sudden, Rich Bisaccia looks pretty good right now.
Yeah. But do you think he'd leave Green Bay's special teams coordinator to come be the head coach again?
Hasn't been that great either. So I mean, I don't know. It's a tough situation, but we could play the what if game all we want, but it's just in that kind of year, man.
Yeah. Jason says I pull Alex string all the time.
Oh, there you
go. Scott says we are now taking bids on Ben. When did we become a human trafficking ring?
No.
Jesus Christ.
God. Jerk.
Scott says Jason says he paid $1.
Screw you. I'm more than $1. Damn it.
Oh, my God.
Buddy. Okay. Not $1. Now, are we talking U.S. or Canadian currency here?
That's the thing, too. Where is he being purchased?
Next thing you hear, knock on his door. Get him!
No, it's not even knocking. You see the door just busted down. Oh, my God. All right. Did anyone learn anything from week 8?
From week 8.
The Bucs haven't.
Oh, let's see. What did
I had to. I'm sorry.
All right.
I had to.
What did I learn?
Off the bad times, right?
I learned that players still just don't understand the rule of taking your helmet off during a celebration. Do the damn game.
Don't worry, man. You'll get that next Thursday.
And they play in the division, so.
Yeah, that literally cost them first place.
Now, Pinero, he needs to make those He needs to make those points. I understand that. The kicker's got one job, but you pushed him back. That made it like a long. You made it a long field goal drive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I learned that players still don't know when to keep their helmet on until they get to the sidelines.
Yeah, people are in their own minds a little too much. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Alec, did you learn anything from last week's games?
Don't doubt the Seahawks. Just saying.
Yeah.
We bashed it in the offseason, and I'll look at this.
Yeah.
Eating crow.
Yeah.
Well, that rolls right into mine because I went more generalized than yours. Everything we thought about all these teams before the season, throw it out the window. Because
Except for
let's
the
look
Eagles.
at the quarterbacks that are in the playoffs in the NFC. Marcus Mariota, Jalen Hurts, Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins. Who else? All I know is it's not Tom Brady, it's not Matt Stafford, it's not Aaron Rodgers. Like everything you thought you knew about this season has gone completely wrong. Outside of the Bills and the Chiefs. Well, no, even for us, the Chiefs, we thought the Chiefs were slightly going to miss the playoffs. The Packers have been very bad. Nathan, the other side in about a week or two will be a mock draft. I'm going to get started on that fairly soon. Do one in the season, then kind of work on it as the season goes on. This is just our weekly picks. So all of us pick every game of the season. We keep track of our record, and then we go over it at the end of the season. I am in last place at 64 and 59. So we all have a winning record, which is good. But
you're in like last place in everything. Fantasy, straight up picks, and
no, fantasy I'm doing very well this year.
Oh, I thought you said you're in last place in one of your fantasies.
No, although also have fun with that, Jason and Hammy. But in my dynasty leagues where I have money on it, I'm 6-2 in this league and in second place. In our original North Sports League, I am 5-3 and I am in fourth place. In our North Sports Dynasty, Let's Talk Football Combined League, I'm 6-2 and I'm tied for second place. In my one other Dynasty League, I'm 5-3 and tied for second place. So I'm well over a winning record in all of my leagues that actually matter this year.
Nice.
My one good year. I started off very weak in the North Sports, like the original North Sports League, but that was because I had my receivers are Godwin. I have DeAndre Hopkins, and I can't remember who else, but I receivers that did nothing basically for the first few weeks. And then I traded for Swift a couple weeks ago. So now he's getting back into the fold. So now my team is clicking. So it's doing very well now, but struggled quite a bit. I think I was 1-3, and then I've won 4 straight, something like that. So doing much better there.
It's down to Harper now.
What is that camera going lower at Alex's house? I've only seen legs so far.
Oh man.
See, I just want the Astros win in all fate of Mattress Mac. So
you're answering Jason's question by saying Mattress Mac.
I'm not putting my camera any lower.
Jason says, "I want that third leg." Alec, okay.
Lift it up.
Raymond James will be empty Sunday. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to the game.
Then he says, "You guys are hard to watch. Watching Tom Brady puts you in first place for me."
Wait, aren't the Rams known for not having fans of their own at their stadium? That's
true. That's true.
I heard that it's Levi South. It's called Levi South. Whose house? Niners house? Oh, my bad.
And any team that goes to visit them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nathan says Rice and UTEP had a little scuffle at the end of the game. I'll have to take a look at that. I wonder if it was anything like the scuffle at the Big House on Saturday.
So 4 players got suspended, right? Out of that.
And then another 4. We're up to 8 now.
Up to 8 now. Okay.
And they're all on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, I bet here it goes. He could probably get the game winner.
Oh, yeah.
I don't,
They got a run on.
I don't like this dude.
2 outs. Yeah.
I don't like Castellanos.
Trust
I
me,
want to see him do good.
Castellanos is up for the.
See, I got a fucking former Tiger on each side of this fucking World Series. You got Verlander and Castellanos.
Verlander. Ooh.
Oh, Castellanos.
I
Still-
love Verlander still.
That still hurts, doesn't it? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
did they trade him or was he a free agent? I think they.
We traded him as he was about to become a free agent. So
Sean's question, I think they already addressed that already. They're doing an investigation on it.
they're doing an investigation into the full thing.
I think they have a camera that faces towards that locker room,
Yeah.
which was dumb.
So-
It was a dumb situation overall.
Yeah. Now, I mean, like,
That's
I
one thing.
still feel like the security at that game dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Because if I'm in charge of that, whichever locker room is at the front of the tunnel, you let that team go first, and then there should be a ton of security in the middle. And then, for example, if the Spartans or if the visitor locker room's closer, you let them go. Then you put a ton of security there, block off that locker room, and then you let the Michigan players go. The fact that you can see that video, there's like 2 or 3 security guards for like 15 players there. Now, mind you, that you shouldn't have to load up. Like, you should just expect grown adults to be grown adults.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. So,
They should have never left St. Louis. We never let the Rams own. I mean, from a standpoint of because I have a friend that was a St. Louis Rams fan, but that whole move he didn't appreciate, he didn't support at all. Yeah, I've been to their games. I know their fan bases. Once that whole move happened, yeah, their fan base was in an uproar.
Oh my God, that's a loyal fan base, man. St. Louis Rams, dude.
yeah.
They love their football.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's what's his name? Les Snead. Is that the owner of the Rams?
No,
No, Stan Kroenke. Les needs the GM.
That's Kroenke.
he actually had a lawsuit for that, and he had
Yeah.
to pay. I think he owed like the city of St. Louis because the way they did the whole move wasn't done right. So the most sunlight went to the Cardinals and the Blues,
Yeah, Kroenke owns the Nuggets too, I think. Denver Nuggets.
aka reason why we got Nolan Arenado. Just want to put that out there. The reason why we got him,
Cool. Cool beans.
even though the season's gonna be piss because we don't have Molina and Pujols.
See, once we talk baseball, then we get Alex all talked up. But when it's football, it's like
Yeah.
we'll just let Ben and Alex. I'll
30,000
take the
going
head off.
30,000 going to St. Louis Battlehawks games.
Hey,
Is it
man,
gonna be? Is it gonna be in the same stadium?
Vegas
What's that?
Vipers.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe they actually got rid of the Tampa Bay Vipers and then put them to Orlando. What was it? The Orlando. Oh, I forgot what it's called. Called it Orlando something.
Orlando. Oh, yeah, I forget what it was.
I forgot what it was. Orlando Guardians. So
Guardians.
stupid.
Oh God, you got
Oh, my God.
Yes. Yes. Fuck Phillies. Fuck Phillies.
I'm glad we got the Vegas Vipers, man. I cannot. Vipers.
Right as Scott talks shit about the Vipers name.
Yeah. What do you got against Vipers, Scott? What do they ever do to you? Like,
Oh.
oh man, this is fun. What else? What else? Random stuff we can talk about.
It's a good question. Alec, you're chatty now. What do you want to talk about?
No, I was looking at the this person's stream. I felt bad for him because he threw a lot of money on this game. I just want to see if it. I was kind of hoping the Phillies would win. I can see him react bad because he punched the TV last time. I want to see if
Well, it's not Vipers. It was bats in China. Okay, China that caused COVID, Scott.
I was like,
Misinformation with that. How dare you?
Orlando Guardians.
Oh, it's about damn time, Sean. Chase Young finally off the pup list.
Yeah, he's
I have
said
a
he's
league
back.
where one of my dynasty leagues we do individual defensive players, and I picked up Chase Young in the offseason, and then I just stashed him on my IR the entire year. It'd be nice to finally use him.
So
Him and Nick Bosa would be a nice pairing on my fantasy team.
yeah. You know who our owners are for the Orlando Vipers?
Oh God, who?
Danny Garcia.
Yeah, the Rock's
Redbird
ex-wife.
Capital, Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, the Rock's ex-wife.
That's
They only have-
overall owner.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be. I don't get why why do you just keep it in Tampa? You just gotta play in Orlando. All you're gonna get is
Because you got so many sports teams already in
because
Tampa.
the USFL. They have a Tampa team already.
Yeah.
So
Well, not to mention the Rays and the Bucs and the Lightning, and you got so much to compete with in that city. You move it to Orlando, and you're competing with what? The Magic?
whoa.
What?
We have the Orlando City. All right, you know,
Oh my!
3 times playoff champions. So what's it? Playoffs 3 times. So
Chase will be on a pitch count. It appears.
talk about me. Talk about that.
Alex,
We were
talk about
in
that
the
time when you were in
Bahamas.
the Bahamas, Sailor.
Never in the Bahamas. I can't afford to go to the Bahamas. Maybe if I listened to Peter's betting advice, I'd probably be in the Bahamas.
I don't know what he's got against you, Ben.
Trying to take his boot off.
Oh,
I think he's playing hard to get.
Ben and Alex should be on the playlist or sleep with metal dinner trays covering their behinds. Wait, hey, yo. Just realized.
Oh, see.
That's that. No.
No, Jason, I think you got competition there, bud. You got Scott there. Look out, man.
yeah, Hammy's backing off a little bit, but Scott
Yeah.
here.
I think Scott
Scott's
already
going
has
full
a hammy.
force.
I think Scott has hammy in the basement.
I was just gonna say that.
Must be the
Scott
beard.
already dealt with Hammy.
Must be my beard that Scott likes. Yeah.
Let's
See that.
get a
Yeah.
good look, Scott.
Look at that baby. Look at that beard. Look at that winter beard growing.
I love how Johnny
just
takes
like
1 week
rub your
off and the off the
hand
rails
in
part
it.
goes real off the rails.
Oh,
Damn, we're
They
almost
should
at the 2-hour mark, dude.
Oh,
How about that?
aren't you ready for FIFA, Alex? USA
No.
versus Wales.
Cup?
I'm excited to see if Canada can do any damage, but I'm not overly optimistic.
Shit, you're lucky
Hey,
to
your
be.
friend
actually,
Kyle was very optimistic about it. He
you
said they're
earned
winning.
your right into that World Cup.
Oh
tournament.
yeah, I don't really like that draw.
No, but I mean, look, it's. I think it's
Y'all
great.
are hilarious. No, it's Alex
I'm a
and
wo-
Ben that are hilarious. Just the bystander.
Thank you, Sean.
No, you're drawing all the attention here. That's hilarious. That's my name's not coming up anymore. It's all you.
You're lucky that Hammy got kidnapped. Because if not, it'd be a bad day for you.
Who's on your couch, Alex? Is that Hammy, Alex?
Oh, it's a dog.
Who's on your couch?
There's nobody on my couch today, actually.
It's a dog.
Oh, okay.
That pillow's just still there. My brother was laying on the couch earlier, but he's not here right now.
Oh no, man! I love my beard, dude.
Oh, and Hammy's not kidnapped.
I'm here,
Oh,
Alex. Oh, Alex.
He meant beard instead of bird. East Coast Canadian, that first part means something very different.
Yeah. I meant beard. Oh, okay. You meant beard.
Yeah. I was going to say the bird part, Eastern Canada, means something very different.
Elaborate.
Something that Jason and them would talk about on a regular basis.
Elaborate.
Nope. No,
Why?
I will pass.
It's
And I will also pass on this. No, thank you, Hammy.
Ooh.
I'm about to put you in timeout. So you can go back into hiding.
we can do get Scott to rattle him up.
No, I'll literally put him in timeout on here. That's an option. He won't be able to comment for like 15 minutes. And by then the show will be over. So oh. Jason. Oh.
He'd enjoy
All
that.
right.
So no. Yeah.
Hammy's going into timeout for 5 minutes.
Oh, now you're playing hard to get, aren't you?
Oh, I'm playing Don't Wanna Be Got. Oh, shit.
I feel bad after those 5 minutes are up.
So,
I'm looking for those 5 minutes, and I'm just going to cut the show right before that.
real quick, I mean, we got college football this weekend. Is Michigan
Yes.
on a bye week?
No, we play Rutgers, I believe.
Oh, okay. Rutgers. Who do you got, Alec, for Oregon?
We got Colorado.
You guys essentially have a bye week.
Yeah.
Hey,
got
I
Miami.
mean,
We got
I'm
Miami.
not holding my breath.
Yeah.
Oregon. This is usually the time where Oregon they have that one opponent where we think it's going to be an easy walk, and then we're sitting in Sunday, sitting in
Yeah.
dog piss because we fucking lost to a fucking below average team,
So,
Arizona.
So is Dion going to get the Auburn job? A lot of rumors.
No.
Just sits there and says nothing but all right.
He'll stay.
But its right hand goes crazy.
Wow.
Wow, Scott. I'm
Right.
glad to be the highlight of your night.
I was just going to bring up this game, Sean, because to me it's a very interesting one. You guys going on the road to Virginia.
I think they should win that game. North Carolina. Yeah.
I agree, and I think they will, and I think they'll win it big.
Yeah.
Drake May has just amazed me with what he's done this year. To me, he's a top 5 quarter. He's played like a top 5 quarterback in college football right now.
Yeah, the stock's
Without a doubt.
The stock's going up, guys.
Like there's been a couple weeks where I put him in my Heisman race. Like
By the way,
I
you're
think
welcome.
he's that good.
You're welcome, Sean, for the reverse curse on Saturday. I was downplaying his fucking team hard on Saturday. They were playing like piss. And then I guess the reverse curse worked. They started winning.
All right,
Yeah,
and then
I'll go.
oh no, you go.
No, I was going to say they had a tough time with Pittsburgh for a while there last week. North Carolina.
Oh, hey
Ben.
Ben.
You know.
So you know how I think it was your show yesterday when you was just like it was like a random pop up. I told you it was Tennessee minus or Tennessee plus 11. It has dropped down again to 8.5.
Yeah, well, it's 8 now.
It opened at 14, dropped to 11. Now it's at 8.
This is either
Don't
going
worry,
to
I
be
took it at 14. I was that dumbass that put 50 at the 14.
Oh,
Plus 14.
I'm excited for that game. Tennessee and
me
Georgia.
too. How do you guys think it's going to go?
You know what? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call my shot. Tennessee's going to win that game.
Damn.
I'm calling my shot now. I don't know why.
I already called it, but I just did the spread to be safe with plus 20 and plus 14.
Georgia's missing a defensive player. I think that a key defensive
Georgia,
player.
Nolan Smith is out for the year, the edge rusher. Yeah.
That's a big loss, man. I mean, so now
I agree with that, Sean.
Sean, wow.
Yeah. I just got a feeling.
I'm calling my shot the other way.
Okay.
I'm going to say Georgia by 2 touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
I got Georgia winning it fairly easy.
I don't know what it is about
Sean's comment with the the running back from Pittsburgh. I can't say his last name to save my life.
Abanikanda.
Yeah, he was.
He's a
first
problem.
half.
He is a problem. Yeah, and Jalen Carter has been out as well.
I got to tell you,
I think that's why the line dropped.
Sure. Hooker's
What's
just
that?
been unbelievable. Now he's going to face probably the toughest defense so far, but
Without a doubt, yeah.
man, that Hooker to Wyatt combination, oh man, if they get it going, it's going to be a
Early?
long game for early
Now,
on. Yeah.
If you look at
thing
every
is-
game, how do you take down high-powered offenses? You keep
Just
them
watch-
off the field. Georgia
Yeah.
has that run game and that power and physicality to keep
They do.
Tennessee off the field. It's going to be an amazing game, I think, honestly.
Is it on CBS? Right? It's a
It's
CBS
on
game.
CBS,
Paramount Plus, yeah. And Paramount Plus. So
Okay.
man, it's gonna be
Because
Got some early upset picks. I got one more for you, Sean.
is this?
I'm taking. Sean, do you want to come on? We can extend this and talk some college football. I'm down.
Ooh.
I am taking LSU to beat Alabama. They've got Alabama at 13.5 or minus 13.5 on the spread. I'm taking LSU not only to cover that, but to win.
Outright. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Because it's in the Death Valley, right?
It's in Death Valley.
At night.
Yeah.
Night game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 o'clock kickoff. Yeah.
But that Florida State Miami game is going to be on at kind of the same time, so I'm gonna have to go back and forth. Hey, Alex, I got to tell you, I would not be shocked. LSU, I think, could pull this out. I mean, they could.
On Alabama, I will say this time and time and time again. Alabama struggles on the road. They are not the same team on the road that they are at home.
Yeah.
And
Right.
LSU has gotten their shit together as of late and has played very well.
Yep.
So I could totally see them stealing this game. I don't think they win it big, but I
Hey,
think they win it
Alex,
in a close one.
But they
I
win it.
raise your upset and I add one. Texas Tech beating TCU.
You're all on TCU, huh?
They're gonna
Before
They're gonna fold.
before
Every
you
team
jump,
they beat. How's
next
it
week.
ironically
Next week. They fold next week.
how is it ironically every team they face the quarterback happens to get injured?
They fold
That's
next week.
Kansas
Yeah.
how is it
Every quarterback,
ironically
every
their
team.
quarterback happen to get injured?
I had to get
Understand.
Sean in here to help me with that one.
He-
How we doing,
What-
Sean?
Ironically,
guys.
quarterbacks got injured. Just happened to get injured. They're not going to be undefeated for long. I don't care. I'm not falling for the.
They're going to
TCU
survive
hype.
this week. They're going to survive this week. They'll lose in Austin next week.
Now,
I
I'm
got
going to make a
Tennessee
bold
winning.
statement here, too. I think Kansas lose the remainder of their games and miss out on a bowl game after they start at 5-0.
I think so too.
Without the quarterback, they're not the same.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
Who you got in
we
Wake
go
Forest and NC
5-0
State?
and 5-7.
Wake.
We got Wake Forest.
Absolutely. Without
Alex-
Devin Leary, NC State's not the
They're
same.
saying Notre Dame could upset Clemson this week too.
I think they do. I was just about to call that upset too. Clemson going to South Bend. I got Notre Dame.
Ooh.
Love it.
That's,
I can't
that's
be
the,
loud. I
that's
can't be
the
loud.
Michigan throwing shots at Notre Dame.
What's that?
That's a tough
That's
one.
the
I could see it, but I'm going to stick with Clemson just by a
If
few.
you- if Notre Dame wins, off the rails chat's not gonna get a break for a whole week. Mario's gonna be talking all week about that.
But see, and here's the thing is Notre Dame's defense is still so freaking good.
Mhm.
Like I could totally see this being like the Syracuse game for Clemson where DJ gets benched late third, early fourth, but it's just not enough.
Yeah,
I don't
Notre
think
Dame,
Klubnik will steal the game at the end.
Notre Dame just didn't beat Syracuse. They blew out Syracuse. From
They beat the
start to
brakes
finish.
off them, yeah.
So
And
Close.
still went toe to toe with Ohio State earlier this season. Like it's still a damn good football team in South Bend.
Sean, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
So I hate to do this to you guys, but my lady's sleeping in the other room, and I just got to ask. So I'm going to be in the comments. But I
Okay.
appreciate you guys having me on. I'll be on
Oh,
next time,
good.
I promise.
All right. Oh, good shot.
Is this? Oh, damn! I was about to ask him because I know he said he wanted me to join his show for Oregon opinion.
Oh, on Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, no, he told me about that. Wait,
Yeah,
so
we
who do
gotta
you
get you
have
on.
for Texas and Kansas State?
Who is it?
Oh, Texas.
Texas and Kansas State. I feel like Texas can win it, but thing is, they said after that domination, they beat the dog shit out of fucking Oklahoma State. But did Oklahoma State have like their backup quarterback in that game?
Let
I
me
think
see.
it was our backup quarterback.
You and your backup quarterbacks here.
And you know what?
No, I'm saying I think it was like his first start. So I'm guessing that's why it was those nerves. His first game.
No, Sanders played.
Oh,
Spencer Sanders is their starter.
They showed a video of the Oklahoma State quarterback hands like this, where he was hiking the ball. He was like,
oh, probably yeah. So their backup probably got in because Sanders only threw 26 passes in a 48-0 game. So,
Mr. Loosemore, we were talking about how bad Oklahoma is. They're actually kind of doing pretty good lately.
They're getting their shit together. Yeah.
So I don't think we're going to see 5 or 6 losses this year. Maybe 3 or 4, maybe.
by the way, shout out to the home team UCF for making it to the top 25.
Yeah, let's see how long they can hang.
It ain't gonna last long. It's not gonna last long.
You never know. Yeah, Oklahoma's sitting at 5-3 now. What does their schedule look like the rest of the way here? So they got Baylor this weekend.
That's a win. I think they win that.
That's a close one.
Close.
Yeah, it goes either way.
Are you doing Bachelor in Paradise?
I'll give Oklahoma the win there.
So Paradise.
I think they go to Morgantown and beat them. So then 7-3.
Yeah.
I think they lose to Oklahoma State. So we'll go 7-4.
Yeah.
And then in Texas Tech, I'll say 8-4, and they make a bowl game.
I really want to see how Alex thinks, because I did the math yesterday. There's literally no shot for us to go to the playoffs.
Yes, there is.
It's the New Year's 6, maybe, but because you got Tennessee and UGA.
Tennessee and Georgia, and one of them gets knocked out.
Still got Michigan getting bumped up. Or them.
But Michigan and Ohio State have to play each other, and one gets bumped out.
But what LSU?
I think they're going to fall.
LSU beats Alabama, they'll jump over us.
If Clemson loses Notre Dame this weekend, then they're out of it.
Yeah, if Clemson loses one game, they're gone.
Yeah,
just with how weak they've looked. The thing that scares me is there's a realistic shot for 3 SEC teams in the playoff this year. The way they've set this up. And all it takes is for Georgia to beat Tennessee and Alabama to beat Georgia to win the SEC.
Yeah.
And then you've got an argument of a one loss, either Michigan or Ohio State versus Tennessee for that last spot.
Well, see, and that's the other thing too, Alex, is you're in the same division as Ohio State, so one of you are not going to the championship game.
But that would be the same thing with Tennessee, right? So it would be a one-loss non-division champion.
But then Tennessee would have lost to Georgia or whoever. Yeah, Georgia. Let's say
they would lose to Georgia, but we would lose to Ohio State. So then it's very similar. But Tennessee would get in because they beat Bama and LSU.
So basically,
they would have the better resume.
Michigan has one more test before they play Ohio State. Before I got wear freaking khakis.
Yeah, Illinois is going to be a tough game the week before Ohio State. It really is. Illinois got the number 1 defense in the country right now.
I'm not trying to buy khakis. I'm not trying to buy khakis.
Yes, you are. We're going to wear them.
Do I got to take a picture of it?
And more importantly,
it's on the show. It's on the show.
Yeah.
How if I'm sitting down?
You're going to wear them for Jason.
You will stand up and show that you are wearing khakis.
Yes. You're going to wear them for Jason.
Now, if I
and Scott,
you know what?
I'm wearing the khakis. I'm way the hell back there. I'm not standing right in front of the camera to show them I'm wearing khakis, but they will see that I'm wearing khakis.
I'll up the ante. If we got to wear khakis, Ben has to wear a sweater vest.
Nope. I didn't.
We already agreed to this.
You already agreed to it.
You can't go making the.
Yeah.
You can't go changing it now.
Yeah.
And see, here's the thing is, I said I would do it by myself, and then your dumbass hopped in with me. So that's on you.
I think it was going to happen. Now it's getting closer and closer.
Oh, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to be undefeated
Sean
Ohio
wants to know
State and
the bet.
undefeated Michigan.
Sean wants to know what the bet is.
Oh, so if Michigan and Ohio State, which is bound to happen at this point, are playing with the Big Ten division on the line, then me and Alec are wearing khakis for this show, and I made the deal that I would also wear them on the college show on the Saturday. So, expect to see khakis at the end of November.
Twinsies.
What the fuck am I gonna wear khakis with? A button up? Fuck no.
Wear those khakis, Alec.
Alec.
I want my sailor to look sharp and sassy.
See, Alec, I'm literally just gonna wear fucking like a t-shirt or something, and then my khakis.
No, but you got to wear the whistle, or you got to have the pencil, but over your ear.
Harbaugh doesn't do the pencil.
He doesn't. I thought I saw him have a pencil in his.
I mean, sometimes, but not. He definitely has the whistle.
Well, yeah, the whistle. Do the whistle. And
Okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Sean says, I'm not gonna lie, we might need to get Ben in that sweater vest. We got.
We've already.
We gotta make the bet before.
Yeah, you gotta make it before the season. Sorry, Sean.
He says that's Matt
That's
Patricia.
Matt Patricia.
The pencil in the ear. That's Matt Patricia for a fucking laminated sheet.
Hey,
What do you need a pencil for with a laminated sheet? Anyway,
Hey, Ben, did you hear that 5-game suspension?
For Kyrie, yeah.
Just for him saying his opinion. I mean, it's free speech.
Well, no, it's not even. It's not that he said the opinion. It's that he went and doubled down on it.
Yeah.
All he had to do was apologize. He didn't have to mean it. He just had to say, "I'm sorry for what I said," and he would have played basketball.
But you know how Kyrie is. He's not going to give us.
And that's why he's not playing the next 5 games.
I mean, it's like it's going to matter. Their team is dog pits like ours it is.
Scott
By the way,
sorry,
thank you,
if
Matt Ryan,
anyone
for
trying out for the Rams O-line. Jason said, by the way, Alec, you looked a lot bigger on that left.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
I haven't get the reference, but I haven't seen Lucky Charles box in it forever. So
I don't know. You do look kind of like a leprechaun there.
Ben, I'm gonna make a bet with you. If my team wins the ACC championship, I want Ben in a powder blue sweater vest.
Oh, are you gonna do that?
Wow. I'll have to think about it. I'll let you know.
Oh, and then he said he wants to send me some FSU gear. Oh.
So wait, so what's the bet again now? We're gonna.
So if North Carolina wins the ACC championship, you do a show with a powder blue sweater vest. And if anyone else wins the ACC championship, Sean will do a show in some FSU gear.
You know, realistically, I think North Carolina could win the ACC championship.
It's Clemson or North Carolina at this point.
That's what I mean. I'm not that impressed with Clemson, dude.
I'm not either. I think that's a damn good game. That's a game with a lot. Yeah. Are you doing it?
Do it.
I'll let you know December 2nd or 3rd.
December 3rd is Championship Saturday.
Oh. I'll let you know the 4th. How about that?
Oh.
But Sean's like, no way.
He said I've done a show in Dallas gear after losing a bet, so I'm not afraid to do it. That's true. On Let's Talk Football, they do this kind of stuff all the time.
Okay.
Me and him almost did one for the Lions Commanders game. I bet he's glad we didn't. Scott says, wrap it up. I'm running out of material.
No.
After he said Herschel Walker, Texas Ranger.
That's your fault, Scott. You should always have material forever long.
You gotta come prepared.
Yeah, you gotta come prepared, bitch. All right.
And he said, "So glad." Oh, I would have made him wear a Jared Goff Lions jersey. I was so prepared to do a Goff and Wentz jersey bet. Oh. I think there was talks for the punishment for the North Sports and Let's Talk Football Combined League is, for example, like if I was to place last, I have to get an Ohio State, just your least favorite team. So I would have to get an Ohio State jersey, and I would have to have it as my profile picture on Facebook for the week, or like on everything, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'd have to do the shows in the Ohio State jersey. Like you have to rep it the entire week.
You know what I noticed the other day? I looked at the screenshot of my roster. You know what? I'm kind of glad I'm not in that league. I saw my players. I saw what they're doing. I was like, you know what? It's kind of glad I got booted off that league.
Yeah.
Sean said no, anyone but him. I have a Joey Harrington jersey, but being in Detroit live, seeing that loss was enough. Lions fans felt bad for me at the end. That's true. There's a video of him like head in hands and they're like patting him on the back. Normally I talk my shit in those kind of games when I'm like a friend of mine cheers for the other team, but I laid off that week.
So Alex, I got a Lions fan at my work.
Yeah.
I pat him on the back after every dude, it's okay, buddy.
Oh, I'm at the point where I just laugh about this shit, honestly. Like,
yeah.
You know what's even worse? Joey Harrington played for my college.
That's right.
See, but he was good in college. That's the thing. He just sucked in the NFL.
It says, that's the one thing that Orkin can guarantee you. Quarterbacks are always a flip. It's like a coin flip. Like Mariota, I made it. He went to the wrong team. He got drafted to the wrong team. If he went to a different team that would actually fit his play style, it would have been better. But you play with the cards you get dealt with.
I got two.
See, that's the problem. Not a lot of teams fit him at that time.
That's the one thing I hate about the Oregon offense is like pros and cons, because that their offense, not many teams run that same kind of game scheme, and it's just
seemed to work fine for Justin Herbert.
Two words, Alex. Anthony Brown.
Fuck that dude. That dude can fucking rotten piss. Rotten fucking piss. I don't get it.
This is hurtful,
No, he's just the terrible fucking game manager. How's it on 3rd and 2? You freaking pass it. Why? You're at the 20. You fucking run it, you dumbass. Fucking hate that.
That's not him though. That's the offensive coordinator.
No, the thing is, you don't know is he his last season. I'm not gonna lie, I may or not have made the statement that Joey Harrington would be the next Joe Montana. I'm not proud of that. Well, neither is me being an Oregon fan. It's not really what I'm proud about sometimes, but you just gotta live with it, I guess.
Oh. By the way, I'd also just like to say with that Michigan State game, for everyone that made fun of us for years for that fucking punt, same shit happened to Michigan State. So bite me.
That was the best meme ever. The fan. Jason says, "Are you always this aggressive when you're in your bed?"
I'm crippled. Fuck you.
So the answer seems to be yes.
No, the last year though,
Uh-oh.
they admitted that when it came to the offense, Anthony Brown's the one that, like, whoever the head coach picked, he audibled it and changed the whole plan. He scratched the whole game plan out and did his own plays. That's why Mario Cristobal got fired, because he openly admitted to that. So that's why Anthony Brown is the one that ran the offense, which is not smart. But,
It was good enough to beat Ohio State.
Yeah, it's the only thing he can do. Couldn't beat fucking Utah.
Yeah.
You
do want to F me. I knew it.
Put him in timeout.
Okay, I'll put him in timeout. You realize he's going to come back hungrier after, right?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Sean, I just about made a bet with you and Kat about Saturday's game. I almost did. I was very close. The fact that the announcer used the exact same phrase hurt. Oh. No,
Yeah,
that game felt good.
I called my dad next day. I was like, "Oh, so how'd the game go?" He was like, "Ask your mom." I was like, I was like, still bitter.
Sean said it was painful enough. Wait, so is one of your parents a Michigan fan and one a State fan?
Yeah, my dad's Michigan State, my mom's Michigan. So that's why I asked him, I was like, "How's the game?" Well, he's like, "Yeah, ask your mom. She'll probably tell you how the game was." Because like the one year that we played Michigan, I think it was when Oregon played Michigan State back-to-back years.
Yeah.
The first year when we had Mariota, and the second one we had Vernon Adams. The first year we had Mariota, he was like bash talking me the whole week. He's like, "Oh, it's gonna be easy win on Saturday. So we're gonna play Oregon." So we're just watching the game, and he's seeing touchdowns. I was like, "How's that going for you?" He's like, "Don't worry, we'll get you next year." I was like, "We won't have Marcus Mariota next year, so it's gonna be an easy win for you." He's like, "We'll see." And the fact that Vernon Adams almost won that game against Michigan State, that's kind of sad.
Now, talking this Michigan State and Oregon. So Oregon signed a 5-star quarterback out of Detroit. And now, after getting the shit kicked out of them by Michigan and a 5-star quarterback in JJ, they're trying to get that quarterback to flip his commitment. It's like you just got your ass beat by the in-state rival. You really think now you're going to be able to flip his commitment? Like,
see, Michigan, like, I already know Oregon's not going to get the top recruits all the freaking time. We never really do. I mean, it's more so we get them on defense. Offense, it's more so we get them on receiving, or wide receiver, or running back. We never really get a quarterback that much. Hence why we always got to do a transfer portal every freaking time. Because
you had Herbert.
I mean, we had Herbert, but like after that, it's like because after we had like you know, like if you notice the sequence, we had Mariota. After Mariota, they had
Vernon Adams.
And then they had Justin Herbert, and then they didn't want to get Tyler Show, so they went into a quarterback transfer portal for Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown left, so he did a quarterback.
Where was Brown at before?
I think he was in a SEC school. Oh, Boston College. I think he played Boston College.
Oh,
I think he did. I just sworn I think he did. Let me see. I think it was here. Boston College is like an SEC team. But like, we always get transfer portal quarterbacks all the time. It's annoying, but
Bo Nix seems to be working for you. So,
I mean, I guess it's one of those things where he had to fit into the offense.
Yeah, well, it was a first-year coach, first-year quarterback in the offense, right? So I mean, there was a ton of change happening, and your first game is Georgia coming off a national championship win. You're gonna get your ass beat.
The only thing that I was really mad about is the way they had him run the offense in Auburn. It takes every quarterback that goes to Oregon and tries to run that offense. It takes them like 2-3 games. That's why when we got beat by Georgia, I wasn't really upset about it. I was like, I already know how it's gonna.
It's Georgia. Like,
I mean, I thought we were gonna score at least a touchdown or something, at least a touchdown, but I was really upset about that.
But like you said, it takes a couple games for an offense, and defenses are generally farther ahead week one than offenses are. So I expected. I don't think that big a win, but
the only person we really lost was like a defensive end, and I think like 2 corners. But we already had the corners that were already replacing them played most of the games last year anyway. So
yeah. Alex, I know it's a soft subject, but you got a slong?
I wasn't bringing that up for a reason. Yeah, we might go back into timeout.
I saw that, but I don't want to laugh.
I was completely ignoring it.
See, the thing was like with Florida State, I think after they had Winston, that's where they had their dip. Now that they have Travis Hunter, not Travis Hunter, goddamn, I forgot his name. What's the Florida State quarterback right now? Travis. Is it Travis?
Yeah, Jordan Travis. Yeah.
Jordan Travis, yeah.
It's like they have like that dip. Like there's only a few teams like Alabama that can go quarterback, and then it just automatically fits because they don't really get transfer portals.
I would
Or
say
just
Travis has been our best quarterback since Winston.
Winston.
I don't think it's been overly close. I think he's head and shoulders above everyone else you've had.
I mean, yeah, because we had what Francois, we had Golson for like a year.
Oh my god, I forgot about Golson. He was
Golson from
brutal.
Notre Dame, yeah.
Notre Dame, yeah.
But Travis has been. I mean, he's not a great quarterback, but he's been our most consistent quarterback.
He's more doable.
He's solid. I would say, yeah.
Solid.
He's not great, but he's solid. Yeah.
Now that I think about that, I gotta see the Oregon's quarterback depth chart now. See who we even have left.
Well, now that
transfer portal again.
Now that Cade McNamara is transferring for next year, we don't have anybody behind JJ really.
Oh, what the freak! Whoops.
We got a couple really young guys, but yeah. FSU could have had Drake May and Sam Howell, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, never
Sam
mind.
Didn't go there. He decided to go to North Carolina.
Didn't Sam decommit from
Yeah, he decommitted.
FSU? Yeah.
Never mind, Alex. We're going to transfer portal again next year.
Hey,
The
Cade
quarterback
McNamara is available.
The quarterback that we recruited, that one,
Yeah.
AJ Abbott, he did the transfer portal. I just realized.
Well,
that.
you got a 5-star coming in from Detroit still
Let me
for
see.
this next year. Yeah, Cade said that once he heals up, he's putting his name in the transfer portal here. I'm interested to see where he goes.
Hey, Alex, guys, what about Quinn Edwards? I mean,
What the heck?
he's coming in. You
Oh
he's
my
gonna-
gosh, Ben, you're gonna laugh at this.
You think he's going to put his name in the portal? I mean,
I don't. I think he's going to at least compete for that job. Hey, he's played well enough to get enough of a head start. If you ask me,
Ben,
I think he
you're gonna laugh
starts
at
the
this.
season next season. I don't know how
Guess-
long he starts, but
Guess
What
who
is the
our guess who our second string quarterback is? It's not Ty Thompson.
Anthony Brown,
It's Jay Butterfield.
Jay Butter.
oh god,
I never heard his name
He's in a
at
better
all.
Better
In the spring camp, I never heard his name at all.
Well, so far, yeah, Sean, but we're on the comeback.
Yeah, FSU's on the verge of being a damn good football program again.
Yep.
And this one here, it honestly wouldn't shock me if Cade went to the Spartans. I was kind of thinking about that. He walks in and he's immediately their best quarterback.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he goes to a Pac-12 school. I got a feeling he goes to like a Pac-12 or Big 12 school.
See, I was thinking about that too, and there's some of those schools, like obviously Oregon's going to be without a quarterback here.
Or
You've
think about
got-
this one, Nebraska.
Nebraska, yeah, that would be an interesting
I
one.
know they got
Iowa.
Thompson right now, but I mean Thompson's kind of
Casey Thompson's so hit or miss.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Bye, Alec.
I know.
McNamara at Iowa would be interesting, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, do they believe in offense? They've never believed in offense.
Yeah, true. But I think he's the kind of quarterback that perfectly fits that system.
Okay.
Where Cade's the kind of guy that it's first read, second read, nothing. Say, okay, let's throw it away and reset for the next play. Cade's not going to go try and make that big play, and they've never had a quarterback that would look like that. Yeah, Cade would be a world beater in the MAC. I also thought about some of these schools, like I said, Oregon, and then some of these schools that are losing their quarterbacks this year.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Stetson Bennett's leaving. What about Georgia? I don't know what they've got behind him. Cade reminds me a lot of Stetson. You could go A&M. The Aggies don't have a quarterback. He could walk in there and be their best guy.
Cade
Like
seems like a BC quarterback.
you mean like Boston College?
Or a Ben Cornett kind of quarterback? I don't know. What do you?
Yeah, Boston College. Yeah. Yeah, he's the kind of quarterback that's not. He himself isn't going to take you over the top. If he's got a lot of talent around him, he does very well. Like
game manager. Like a good
absolutely.
Game. Yeah.
Like I've got nothing against Cade. To me, the only reason I wanted JJ was he's dynamic enough to take you over the top. And then this is what I was thinking too. I think he'd be legit at A&M. I think he'd turn them into a very good football team. They would remind me a lot of what we did last year.
Yeah, and I mean it would help Jimbo right away too. Get him back on track.
And a veteran quarterback that's played a lot of big time games.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Jimbo's going to get fired right away, but I mean, he's kind of
starting to get warm.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he could use a veteran quarterback to help steer the ship.
Yeah.
Get it back on track.
And that's absolutely what he is. He's a great game manager.
Yep.
In terms of if that's what you want his job to be, he's great at it.
Yeah.
Just for Michigan, that's not what we were looking for anymore. We were looking for somebody to open up the offense a bit more. That allows us a quarterback that allows us to use their legs and their arm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, look at what Max Johnson did for them last year by coming in against Bama. Like, Cade to me is the same kind of quarterback.
Yeah.
Well, he's back.
Yeah, it was got boofed. The Wi-Fi went out. The Wi-Fi went out.
Jason cut the power to get into his bedroom.
No, it's just my internet. That's the only thing. I'm trying to log into my shit and it's not doing anything.
Oh, I just saw your message now on Facebook.
Are your minutes up on your internet?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, he used every last bit of his Wi-Fi. It's done for the rest of the month.
Yes, if somebody's stealing it from his Wi-Fi.
Even Sean's like, oofed.
Yep, welcome to that spectrum. You can't shit.
All right, do we got anything else we want to talk about, or are we
I think
wrapping this up?
I think we should wrap it up. It's up to you, but I mean,
yeah, I was like, I'm out of things to talk about. So if someone else has things to talk about,
2.5 hour mark.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for episode 73 of the NFL edition. We don't typically end it like this. Typically, Johnny just pulls the plug, but we will end it this way. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain Time. Where obviously
Pacific. Don't forget our fellows in the Pacific time zone.
That is right. That's 7 p.m. Pacific. Yeah.
Rock on.
Where we will talk next week's Thursday night games, Panthers, Falcons.
Yep.
We'll go over our picks for week 10. And if we learned anything from this last week's games. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you to everyone else for tuning in and commenting, and we will see you guys next week.